Oh my goodness, hello. Sorry, I was busy, well, setting up a lot of things at the last minute. But anyway, how is everyone doing today? Let's see. Hi Miyoto, hi Rover, hi Rin. Hi Dark Knight. Alright. We're gonna recap. We're gonna be recapping Idia's session from last. Sorry, I'm a bit tired. So it took me a little bit to set up. Not only that, I also kind of got a little bit. I got gagged with my mom essentially. Oh, hello. We're on the trash out and tweet. Take your time. Also, let me check. Maybe Sammy has disconnected. Ah, it looks like Sammy had disconnected. Give me a second. I see now why I didn't go through. Give me one moment. Everything has disconnected. Alright. Hold on. Just a monthly code reset thing, so virus more it's fine. Doing good farming 5 fantasy trials to facing the Elder Wyvern Sally, but soon I felt sort of thinking oh yeah, go for it, Dark Knight. How you feeling? That's how you said you were sick. I'm still kind of slightly sick, but not as bad as it was previously where I had like minor allergies as well. Looks like, for some reason, my Google wants to break on me. Come on. Okay. I'm going to quickly cut the music for a second. I'll hydrate. Sorry, I'm gonna quickly cut the music for a second because I think I need it to... It's not working as intended. So I'll play different music for now. While I try to perish my Google Chrome with this. Boom. There we go. That's the wrong thing I turned off. It's fine. Okay. Okay, this music should be back. Alright, nice. It seems to be working again. Alright. There you go. Alright, so looks like Sammy should be back online. So the redeems that require coding should be back working then. I will hydrate. I have to wait until a family member comes back from the hospital. It's gonna take a long time, so I might as well pass the time here with you guys by with news. Yeah, I hope that all the news turns out good, Dark Knight. That anyone's in the hospital is okay. Hold on, I'm looking for something. I had to close my subtitles to reset my thing, so give me a second. Testing. Alright, it's up. Cool. Yeah. Enjoy your fishing. Alright, let me drink some water. Let me pour me a new glass of water and drink. Alright. Okay, now we'll actually get into the meat of things. So we're here actually to recap on Idia's session 5 following Rain's D&D session last night, I had only gone to bed at around like 3 a.m. because I was busy doing the notes. Speaking of which, if you guys would like the notes to just be able to cross-reference what happened in the previous D&D session, it is here. So feel free to take a look at it, as you please. I will also be jumping between different musics, but for now I'll just leave it on the medieval music while I attempt to wake up. And that's a lot. I usually tend to sleep pretty late whenever I do the D&D notes because they take me about 2 hours to compile, and last session it was pretty long because it was purely roleplay for about 5-ish hours, and you know, yeah, we had like about 1.7k words just for the summary, and that isn't counting the specific reports that I do as well for Idia. Because you guys don't know, Idia has an in-canon report as well that he does, and I write that as well. Real hard, thank you, Rin. Last session was really long, so it was really a lot to summarize. Make sure I didn't miss anything important, at least from what I think. Yeah, and the OOC notes, they're everywhere. Like, hold on, something seems to be a little bit buggy in the UI version. Why are you like this? Okay, looks like this might be a bit better. Okay, there you go. It's a little bit easier to look at now. I don't know why that's happening, but right. So, anyway, hungry. Oh, no worries. Go ahead and get your snack then. I'll just everyone can just take a look at the Google Docs first while I. Anyway, so just a lot of things happened in the previous session alone, and to attempt to recap everything, I'll recap the previous session before we go to yesterday's session. So at the end of the previous session, each of us in the party had a nightmare, and this nightmare included seeing all of us in this grand ballroom setting. I'll try to read the segments, the nightmare sequence. Okay. Yeah, a vast ballroom, and it's like chandeliers hanging upside down, dripping glowing droplets that never hit the floor. It smells of delirium dust and dying flowers. Anyway, so all of us have the same nightmare. We see each other in a nightmare, and then in front of all of us there is a mirror, and only our own characters can see our reflections in the mirror. We don't see anybody else's reflections. It is kept solely to the players. And in each of these mirrors, essentially, we see a bad and alternate version of ourselves in the reflection. And after that, we wake up with a black lily in hand. Like, we wake up physically with a black lily, a material real flower in our hands after waking up from a nightmare. And it's like, what the hell is that? You know, it's like, what is that? Just make sure I have this pulled up. So yeah, we're just like, what is that? And that was when the previous session ended, and then where last night's session started. Okay. So we all woke up at around like 4 a.m. After the nightmare sequence, and each of us kind of went about doing our own thing. So we started off with Bruno waking up and Bruno waking up, seeing the black lily in the hand, and just going, weird, and just tosses it into his safe with all the rest of his valuables, locks it up, and goes back to sleep. And then moving on, we then know that, you know, like, we encounter Storm. Storm goes to like put the black lily in the pocket as Storm goes to take a shower, and black liquid seems to be like flowing out of the black lily as he's standing in the river. So the river has like this snaking trail of black water coming from where Storm has the black lily in his pocket. He just keeps it anyway, but as long as it's not touching the water, he keeps it for now. We go over to Tarnath. Tarnath wants to burn the flower, but he doesn't burn it at like the last second. Like maybe it's important or something, but so he holds on to it. And then Thane also sees the flower and is like, okay, he's gonna arcane check it to try and decipher whatever this is. And from what he can tell is that essentially it's a paradox in and of itself. This flower doesn't make any sense. One moment it's hard, the next moment it's soft. One moment it's cold, the next it's warm. Like, it's magic. Like, the magic through of it doesn't make sense. It's just strange all around, right? So Idia also wakes up the same thing, and he looks at it and he's like, what is this? As he's holding it, it's also glowing dimly in his colors. I think like what Rain specifically described it was cyan, but I don't know if Rain meant it as cyan or my specific color green. I wonder if Rain is here. Rain, I have questions. Where's my DM? Where is he actually? Is he here? Art thou free, my dear, good sir? Let's see if he's free, like, to answer some questions. Because also at the same time, right, the notes are just based off my understanding of the session, and also cross-reference with other players' notes. There's a chance that we can always still be wrong, especially for things that we could have missed or things that we don't understand. I'm gonna check. Oh. Let's see, media. DnD, Idia. Boy. Okay, so Rain is probably busy at the moment, so I'll check if the color. Oh, never, he's here. All right, let's see. Okay, I should find a name for this color. Hold on, I should go try to find a name for this color. Name of color, hex code. Name that color. Okay. Approximately, this green is called Caribbean green. The closest it can be is, I guess, it's like aquamarine is a good okay. Aquamarine is like kind of like a good in between. The hex code. Caribbean green. Yeah, apparently it's okay. So I'm looking it up on a website right now. Okay, and it says the closest it can be is actual color of the closest match is called Caribbean green. So I'm gonna send it to you. Yeah, parts of the Caribbean. Yeah, it's fate. It's Caribbean green, which is really funny. Aquamarine is not too bad. Aquamarine is just a little bit more desat version of Caribbean green, I guess. But I'm just scrolling through the website right now, and there's a lot of colors actually. Very okay, interesting. Oh, I'll come here in the future when looking for future colors. But yeah, the closest is apparently called Caribbean green. The hex code that I have is 00EFA7 if you're ever curious. And tones, I don't know. It's pretty cool. Okay, cool, very nice. Name that color. This guy does art as well. How pretty. Anyway, oh sorry, I'm getting lost in the sauce here. Anyway, so aquamarine is one way to describe the color. You can say like a bright aquamarine is one way to describe it, though specifically Caribbean green. But I know a lot of people are like, what the fuck is Caribbean green? So at this point, we might as well call it Tetsuya green. People are like, what is Caribbean green? We're like, oh, it's a Tetsuya green. And we're like, ah. Cause come on, like in a way, like let's be honest, like nobody really uses this bright. Nobody uses this bright ass green as much as I do. I love this green. It's my favorite color. Fun fact. I memorized the hex code about like 5 years ago, because people kept asking me like, okay, what's your favorite color? And I'll be like, how do I explain this? I can't explain it. Boom, hex code. And there's no way for me to explain what color this is. I didn't know how to explain it, so I was like, my favorite color is hashtag 00EFA7. People are just like, fuck brother, and I'm like, I don't know how to explain it, do you? And they're like, yeah, good point. They're like, good point. How do you explain this color? I'm like, yeah, you see my problem, man. You see my problem. Anyway, so this black lily that Idia is holding is kind of glowing, pulsing a little bit with this like Caribbean green, a Tetsu green. All right. And Idia is like, okay, this is weird. I want to go pass it to my handler because, yeah, because I don't know what to do with this. Okay, and he walks out the room, and this is exactly the moment that Thane also walks out the room. And they both know that living in the Red Lion Hotel, that there is like a desk somewhere below where they can basically run like an analysis or an experiment. It's not very stocked very well, so mechanically we can only do it like once per day. We can only attempt to do it once per day. So at 4 AM in the morning, both Idia and Thane head down to try and like research it, and they come across the lizard folk bartender and Nalo. Nalo is a person that Idia recognizes, a half-elf, feminine-looking man, basically a femboy, half-elf femboy, and he's very fruity, very loopy, and this guy recognizes obviously both Thane and Idia, and is like, oh hey, it's you two, you know, like Thane, number 2. Yeah, like this guy refers to Idia as number 2. And Idia is like, alright. So, and then he's like, okay, what are you guys up to? And, you know, Idia is like, being the guy that he is, secretive guy that he is, hides the flower behind his back and is about to say something. And then Thane intercepts and just says, magic. And then Idia is like, yes, magic. He was going to say something and he just shut his mouth and is like, you know what? Good enough excuse, magic. At least that's how I roleplayed it. Obviously, we're not in person, so the players could not see my facial expressions or my acting, but in my heart of hearts, that is how it went down. I did try to explain it, but it's a bit harder. We couldn't see each other. But anyway, so then, you know, Nail starts trying to push a little bit more, and then Idia and Thane don't budge. Just say magic, 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 magic. And then, you know, Nail starts implying something that's going on between the two of them. And Idia is just like, no, magic. I'm not going to fall into your bait. I'm not going to respond to that. I'm not going to acknowledge it. I'm just gonna keep saying magic until you let me pass. It is stubborn. And then so Nail is like, okay, magic. And also I passed the stealth check to keep the Black Lily that Idia had on hand private, basically. I passed the self check, so he hit it well enough. Then I remember every time I pass, Rita's like, "You cheeky bugger," and I'm like, "Yeah, it is a cheeky bugger." Dude, I need to also say this. Throughout the span of all these sessions, right? I need y'all to know, Idia is a fucking badass. Okay, I am not used to my characters rolling this well consistently. Okay, I am not used to him I'm not used to my characters like rolling this well. And Idia is out here just like, I'm a nat 20 this shit. I don't care if my modifier is like a 0, I'm going to pass it anyway. And I'm just here like, the thing is, you know, I'm used to role-playing failures. I'm used to role-playing things not going my way. Because also it's fun, you know, when a story has like, you know, hiccups and drama and things that don't go your way. How do the players and the characters, you know, respond to these troubles and grow from it? Meanwhile, Idia is just like, I don't have no fucking troubles with this shit. I'ma just do it. And I'm like, okay, good sir. Be that guy. And bro is that guy, you know. It is that guy, for real. And I'm like, alright, Idia, you do you. Half the time, I'm like, okay, he doesn't have a good modifier for this roll. The DC is kind of high. I don't think it's gonna pass. And then bro just rolls like a natural 20, and I'm just like, okay, thanks, Idia. Okay, I'm not saying that I want to curse my luck and have Idia roll bad. Okay, I'm just saying this in a way of like praise. I have never had a character be this outright fucking badass according to the dice. Like, the dice is the one telling the story, and the dice is saying, Idia, you're a fucking badass. And I'm like, okay, I have to roleplay like a badass. I've never roleplayed as a badass before, so this is new, and this is also very fun. I'm also very, very happy and glad that I ended up choosing to stick to playing Idia for this campaign instead of making that new OC I was pondering about. Because I think that this actually really Idia really fits this campaign. Having a hunter that knows the way around Drakenheim and Delirium, just the whole concept of him being here leads to a lot of very interesting dynamics and discoveries that you may have in Drakenheim, right? And it's just so much, like, it's just so much fun to play as Idia. I get to play as one of my characters I've been obsessing about, and the obsession is getting worse because I'm having so much fun with him. He's such a fun little guy. Did you imagine second setting I had planned was Avernus? Avernus. Okay. Alright. That would be... Oh, Idia would be suffering in Avernus. I don't know how... Do you mean like Avernus? Do you mean like the book following Avernus? Or do you mean like Homebrew's campaign within Avernus? Like, are you talking about like Descent into Avernus or just Avernus in general? Because if it was Avernus, yeah, Idia would be Demon Hunter Idia. It would just be a Demon Hunter, a bit of both. Ah, okay, cool. I know BG3 also uses Avernus as a setting, but yeah, can you imagine Idia the Demon Hunter? But I think like Drakenheim really fits. Really does fit for Idia, and I think for everyone so far. Drakenheim, I'm just very happy. I'm very glad that I decided to stick to my gut feeling and just play Idia. Cause holy shit, man! Holy shit, man! This group kind of needs a badass. I'm not used to being the leader / badass of the group. Like, Tarnav is supposed to be the leader. I don't know how to pass the battle back to him. Idia is so like doing his own fucking shit. I need... Okay, it's so weird because like on one hand, Idia is so independent that he's just doing his own shit. And then Tarnav is leading the rest of the party. And I'm totally fine with that. Like I know out of character, we kind of like, okay, yeah, let's have Zell's character be the leader. So that and then we start playing, and then I'm like, okay, Idia's just doing his own shit. Like, okay, how do I pass this mantle back to Tarnav? I think it'll probably be more prominent whenever they're in situations where it doesn't deal with delirium. That Tarnav is the supposed leader of the group, and it's just that Idia is a very individualistic hunter, and he's very used to solo missions. He's just used to governing himself and making decisions on his own. But definitely once we get out of like when we're not face to face with a lot of delirium involved things, which is a bit hard because then we're playing Dragonheim, right? If we're not dealing with too much delirium, right, then I think that it will start to becoming more prominent again that Tarnav is the actual leader of the group and not Idia. Though I wouldn't complain if he ends up becoming the leader. I'm just like, I want to make sure Zill is okay with it though, because I don't want to step on anyone's toes here. It's just that at the moment right now, I'm just like, okay, Idia is really accepting his role, huh? Knowing Zale. Yeah, I don't know if Zale would mind. He'd be fine with anything. Okay, that's good to know. At the very least, I want to make sure that everyone gets to play the characters that they envisioned to play. So, if we do end up going on this Chapel of Saint Brenna mission, I think Tarnav will start taking a shining role in that, because it is related very much to the Sacred Flames. So I think Tarnav will be more obviously in the spotlight if we do go down that route. If we go to Reed Manor, the spotlight goes back to both Thane and Idia. Obviously, knowing Rain, knowing you, our DM, you will give everyone a chance to shine, which is something I'm very appreciative about. But yeah, it's just that like by nature of the missions, we'll definitely have different, the dynamics will shift a little bit. Idia still wants to go for Reed Manor. Personally, for me, out of character as well, I want to go to Reed Manor because I do want to see what Alric was referring to. Naturally, it's Nail and Kale's time to shine. Oh yeah, Nail and Kale, Nail and Kale go to the chapel on our behalf. I have a feeling that like wherever we don't go to, Nail and Kale will go. The 5 crew. Yeah, the 5 crew, they will probably be sent to whatever mission we don't take over. But yeah, so Idia is a fucking badass with the roles, okay? I have to mention this, like during the skill challenge, like Idia was just succeeding in all his roles. And the one role that me and Mage had to make together, right? To kind of like decide these are the final factor, because me and Mage both pass our individual roles, and then if we pass the next one, we basically get the final result. But if we both fail, then you know it's like the Rain will take the average of the roll. So we were thinking about which role to do, because the thing is we had to choose the exact same skill check. And so Mage was like, I want to do history, because Mage history is +6 and makes sense because like the flower imagery is from this old house of Let me check my notes. Where's the house? Starts with a V. Related to... It's from the letter. That's the nightmare sequence. So it's a bit further. Okay. House Volunteer. Okay. House Volunteer from session 3. All right, the one that had the letter. There's a black lily on the seal. Yeah, which is a symbol of House Volunteer. Okay. So because of that, Mage wants to do history check to check out House Volunteer, and I say, okay, I can try history, but my history is only a +1. If we use nature, I have a +3 and Mage is a +4. Either way though, it's a +7 across the board, so it doesn't really matter to me. So in the end, we agreed. Minnow-san, welcome in. Hello, welcome in. Hope you enjoyed the Minnow-san game. Thank you for the follow. Anyway, we'll talk about Idia's. The +6, like mage is a +6, it is a +1. So I was like, okay, I'll roll first, just to see, you know, because the things I was like, okay, I'll roll first just to see what's gonna happen and see how we can get the average. I roll, and Idia gets an unnatural 20, and I'm just like, okay, when I saw the dice roll, I physically stood up and was like, yo, yeah! I physically stood up and was like screaming. I was like, yo, shit! Holy shit! Holy shit! He rolled so well, my boy! And I'm gonna be very honest. In all honesty, I expected to fail that roll. So then Mage had to, and then it was Mage's turn to roll, and Mage rolls. Was an unnatural 20. Welcome in, Tsuki. An unnatural 20 means that you roll on the dice, a d20 dice, and then through the addition of modifiers, is when you get through the addition of modifiers when you get an unnatural 20. So a natural 20 is when you roll a 20 on a 20-sided dice, basically the highest number. Whereas an unnatural 20, in my case, I rolled a 19 and then I +1 from my modifier, making it a 20. So we call it an unnatural 20. So anyway, I rolled an unnatural 20, and I'm just like, holy shit, Idia, you're a fucking badass. Alright, cool. And then Mage rolls, and Mage doesn't roll that great. And then we're just like, no, Mage! Because this is supposed to be Mage's roll, not Idia. And I'm like, Idia, you need to fucking stop aura farming. You need to leave some for the rest of the party. Stop aura farming. Stop aura farming, Idia. The rest of the party needs it. Dude, my OC is aura farming so hard, and I feel very bad for the rest of the party. But yes, welcome in, Tsuki. Hope you're doing good. We're talking about OCs right now. The OC, not the OC that asked you to draw. The OC that asked you to draw, we'll be talking about them later after lunch when I start playing this game. It is going off. It is fucking going off, dude. Like, okay, I don't want anyone to think that Idia is the main character. Okay, I'm gonna put this out there. I do not want to be the main character. DnD is a cooperative game. There is no main character in this game. So never, so I don't want to apply that, I don't want to say that. And that's why I'm just like, as a team game, I don't want Idia to be the only one having good rolls. I want everyone to be sharing the rolls. Like, I feel so bad for Mage, because every time Thane is supposed to roll intelligence, he rolls badly. And I'm like, no, Mage, no, you're supposed to be good at this, no. Just listening at it, I'm gonna try to interact first. No worries, Suki. Interrupt me whenever. I like being interrupted. I'm kidding. But yeah, you're free to just come in and just chat. Don't worry, we're chilling here. Thane is trying his best. I know, that's the part that hurts me the most. Thane is trying. Thane is trying, and he's just not doing so hot, and I feel so bad for Thane. I feel so bad for Mage as well, like, because this is supposed to be Thane's time to shine, and I'm just like, oops, sorry, Idia took it, and I'm like, no. Yeah, I love Idia, but bro, I love my party members more. Idia, please! Idia, please! Share some with the rest of the class, man! You can't aura farm forever! He's so funny. I love Idia. But also in a good way, at the very least, at least one of us gets a high roll. So Mage's total equals up to 10. My total equals up to 20. And right on that middle dot, 15 average is the passing score. And we managed to pass, and we got all the details of the Black Lily. So, as we're finding out details of the Black Lily, I'll recount them for you guys. So we find out that the Black Lily has no botanical matches in the material realm. This plant is not native to the material plane. It does not rot. Through magic of wish spell, it exists. This is very important because in lore of Dragonheim, you cannot get the wish spell naturally. It is an extremely, if not highly kept legendary worldly secret, if I'm not wrong. Anyway, this lily pulses and reacts to the presence of delirium of other lilies. It's a proximity effect. Also, this is just, again, for me. I am not I am not immune to getting a lot of validation from little bits of praises. So when Idia and Thane first came out of the room, right, and they saw each other, Rain described the lilies like beginning to like pulse. So immediately I was like, okay, it is gonna hold the lily a little bit closer to Thane's flower and see if there's proximity effect. And then Rain was like, well done, detective. And I'm like, internally, I'm like, I am not immune to validation from external sources. I'm like, oh, I think about it all the time. My serotonin went up by 100%. But yeah, so basically, yeah, the flowers have a proximity effect with each other and also delirium, which explains why Idia knows what he's made of. He's made of delirium, so he's just like, that's why it was glowing green in my hand. It emanates a white space of a 600 feet dome. It's a strange space, has like echoes and dreams. The weave that flows through them is scattered, allowing them to grow in the radius. They also can't be destroyed. If it burns, it grows again. If buried or planted, it just grows again. We also tested this, it just regrows. However, at the final thing we learned, if close to a high concentration of delirium, it rapidly expands and produces black water. And as we find this out, suddenly, both me and Zale have this realization. I was like, high concentration of delirium. Bruno has the delirium crystal. And I was like, oh fuck. And then the scene cuts to Bruno waking up on the bed, and his bed is floating in a bunch of black water. And the thing is, Blobby was just as fucking lost as Bruno was as to what was happening, and we were all just like, oh no. It was not his day. It was not his day. It really was not his day. Bruno was going through it, man. I don't fucking know. Anyway. So we all start rushing. Me and Thane start rushing over to Bruno's house. Storm is the first one to notice. So Storm lives directly next to Bruno, right? Storm comes back and is like, why is there black water coming out of Bruno's house? The door, from under the door. Storm goes over and tries to be like, Bruno! And tries to kick the door down. He fails and injures his foot, and then he lets out a giant fuck! You know, that echoes across the whole of Drakenheim at like 7 a.m. in the morning when it's all still quiet. And this is when like Idia and Thane are running out of the hotel, and then Tarnav steps out of the chapel, coffee in hand, and it's like, oh hi guys, what are you guys doing? And he's like, oh hi, what are you guys doing? And then like Idia like is barreling down the fucking hill and goes to Tarnav. It's just like, who has the delirium crystals? And then in the far distance, fuck! And he's just like, and Tarnav's like, I think Bruno had it. And then Idia's just like, shit! And he just starts running over to where Bruno's house is. And then Thane sees Tarnav having coffee, and Thane is like, you know what? I too also want coffee. So both of them are drinking coffee while Idia runs over, is about to break down the door as well, with Storm, and then Bruno paddles using his shield to like the edge of his window, and then pops up on the window and is like, hi guys, sticking his head out the window like that, and we're just like, Bruno! And then Idia's like, Bruno, where's the black lily? Where's the crystal? And he's like, they're both under the floorboards, and Idia's like, shit. And then they're like, oh, what do you know anything about the black lilies? Everyone's like, what? Everyone's asking like, do you know anything about the black lilies? And Idia's just like just don't put them together. Like, well, I'll explain later. And then goes over, tries to help Bruno out of the window. And then Blobby just says, okay, Bruno jumps out. And I'm just like, So what I imagined Idia was doing was, it's a one-story house, right? It's not that tall. So Idia was like, basically, he was reaching his arms out to basically help like hold Bruno's hand and like give Bruno like a leg support to step on to come out, essentially, or like basically like, you know, pick him up like a doll and put him down, right? Like Idia's strong enough to do that. That was what I was imagining. His hands was outstretched to like hold him. And then I just see Blobby say, okay, Bruno jumps out. And I'm just like, oh shit. And then, so Idia was not prepared to catch him in that way, in that sense, in my mind. So I was like, okay, Bruno just lands on top of Idia then. And then they both just pancake on the floor. Just sort of like, just on the floor. And then Idia is like, the most dead of expressions. It's like, okay. Pushes Bruno off him gently, and then as he's trying to get up, Sora's like, get in there, Fishman! And it is like, I'm working on it! And then he starts climbing into the window, and then Tarnav is like, wait, guidance! And then slaps him with guidance at the edge of his little tail, and it's like, okay, I have guidance. Goes in. Idia has to make a con save as he tries to swim in it, and Idia passes. Of course he does. He's a fishman. Of course he passes. So he goes in, and in the house in the Blackwater, all of like Bruno's valuables and belongings are just spinning around in this black whirlpool centered on this giant fucking lily that is connected to the delirium deposit, which has now become a teeny tiny little shard. And so Idia goes in, passes the check to swim in the whirlpool, and then severs the lily from the rock. And in an instant, all that black water disappears. Also, Bruno asked, should we burn the black water? And Idia was like, not unless you want to take the whole house with it. Oh god, so funny. For Bruno, I know. I was like, Bruno, no. Out of all of us, you needed the money the most. I'm also really sad because like if we had that much money, actually, low-key we could have bought out the magical items that that Rin NPC was selling. There's a lot of items I really wanted. I really wanted the mutation one as well, actually, but thinking about what Idia would have wanted in character was Rin PC. Hi, it's just NPC. I know. Rin PC. Yeah, because the thing is, like, okay, I will go on a tangent. I'll talk about the items in maybe later. I'll talk about the items later. We'll talk about the rest of this first. I'll go on a tangent on items later because there's a lot of items that I was very interested in. I want to come back eventually to get them because, like, I know for one thing, the gauntlets was the first thing that really stood out to me, Idia, because he's very much like, are these items from other abyssal hunters? Because if they are, then Idia wants it. As mentioned in previous sessions, Idia collects mementos of people he knew, and if the gauntlet came from another abyssal hunter, he wants it. He just wants it. He wants it really badly for memento purposes. But most importantly, there's a lot of other items that were also more important, so I took those instead. But we'll get to them later. We're ready for Idia to return. I do hope that most of the items will still be there when they return because Idia is very interested in them, and I think that he would put them in the report. Actually, if you see, Rain, I did put down Idia's report. I started I was thinking of changing up a little bit of things, not really everything, but for Idia's report, I was like, you know what, fuck it. He can have 2 pages now. There was just so much in the last session that I was like, okay, I need 2 pages. This time there's a lot of redacted in his report. So it's like, ooh, I like it here. So then you have this, no worries, Rover, take your time. Just vibe. Anyway, so we are in, Idia manages to sever the lily, the black water disappears, and Bruno rushes in and is checking his valuables, and he has basically gone from his savings of 2,000 gold plus the 1,000 GP delirium. He's only left with 200 gold and the delirium shard of 40 GP, and all just like, oh no, Bruno. Oh no. Oh no, Bruno. Depression. So this is around the time that a gray tiefling appears, okay? And this gray tiefling recognized, so honestly, if I was Bruno, I would have crashed the fuck. Bruno crashed the fuck out, Rin. What are you talking about? Bruno went to get drunk for the rest of the morning. Bruno crashed out, dude. He hard crashed out. He crashed out so fucking hard. Everybody around him was like, you deserve to crash out. Here's all the free drinks on the house for us. Dude, he crashed out so fucking hard. He deserves to crash out though. Yeah, anyway, so he crashes out. And Idia is like... Not Idia, sorry. Bruno is like, man... And then this guy comes up. This tiefling, great tiefling known as Rel. Rel recognizes Storm and is like, oh yeah, they're buddies. And then Rel's actually here on business. So at first when Rel shows up, Rel's like, what's that noise? And Mage manages to nat 20 and say, oh, it was a miscast, you know, like, and Rel buys it, you know, like, oh yeah, okay, that's a powerful spell. Then Bruno tries to go back and hide in the house, because turns out Rel is Bruno's debt collector. And Bruno just goes to the house. And then he rolls on that one. And we're just like, do you want an inspiration that Bruno? And Bruno's like, nah, let it happen. So Bruno tries to go in the house, and then you hear like crack, crash, boom. And Rel's like, ah yeah, I was here for something. And he goes in, and then Tarnaft basically steps up and is like, you can't pass on order of official Sacred Flame business, or something like that. And he nat 20s his intimidation check, and I'm just like, oh. Damn, alright. And then Bruno, like after Rel leaves, right? Bruno is like, oh, that's just my old boss, and I was not playing. Tarna was not fucking playing, bro. Nat 20, Nat 1 to Nat 20, the odds. I know, right? The odds, dude, a lot of really good rolls, interesting rolls happened this session. Like it was really like back to back, like cinema in this session. Oh my god. And then anyway, so then Idia and some other characters, we could roll insight check because this whole scenario is just very fishy, right? Idia passes the insight check and he can kind of tell like, okay, what Bruno is saying is not the whole truth. So Idia basically doesn't buy the fact that he's an old boss. Plus the fact that like Idia, like Tarnaft is covering for Bruno. Idia's like, okay. So he doesn't say anything. Because at the same time, right? Oh, wait. This whole interaction happens after Idia comes out with the giant fucking lily that is the size of a baguette. This flower that is the size of a fucking baguette. Bigger than his fucking arm, okay? And he's holding this giant black lily. And he's trying to explain to everybody what the black lily stuff that he knows about. Like what Thane and Idia found out. And the thing is, I was just like, okay, how is the lily reacting to Idia holding it for? Because the thing is, like, he's been holding it for a while, trying to explain everything. So I look down, and then Rain describes there are green veins coming out of where Idia is holding, like on the flower, the black stem, where there are green veins where Idia is holding it. And then Rain asked me, would you like to try to exert your will on it? And I was just like, sure, because the back of my mind, because the thing is, I've always had this like back of my mind for like, since Idia is kind of very in tune with delirium, he's used to utilizing the delirium in his blood to do things, right? I was always wondering like, okay, there may be times where I may try to ask like, can I use some sort of like delirium resonance to see if I can do anything? So this is a situation where I'm like, okay, delirium resonance might be real. I might do this in the future more. And he tries to exert his will on it. I rolled like barely a pass with the guidance that Azale gave me. And suddenly, the flower, the giant black lily, is now small again. And this time it's in my colors. it turned green. And Idia is just like... Huh? It is just like, flower, party, flower, party, flower, party. Huh? Because it happened in the blink of a second. No giant flash of light, no flashy effects, just big black lily, small green lily. And everyone is just like, what? And it is just like, what? He looks down at it and he's like, and then Thane is like, bottle it up, and Idia's like, yeah, right, I bottle it up, I bottle it up. Like, Idia was just so stunned. He's like, it's like, he was basically in the moment of like, guys, I swear to fucking God, I don't think I did anything. What happened? I swear. Even the narrator is like, what? It's like all of us were just like, what? The fact that it's in Idia's colors highly concerns Idia. Okay, it's like, does this thing have my DNA now? What the fuck? You know, like in the back of my mind, I'm like, does this thing have my DNA? Is this flower connected to me now? What's gonna happen? What the fuck? And I was just like, I'm not testing this flower in any way, shape, or form. I'm so concerned that I'm like, did I absorb the delirium? Did it absorb my delirium? Because we know that this black lily seems to absorb sources of delirium from around it. Did I use my delirium on it and thus turned it green and bent it to my control? You know, put my will on it essentially? Did it absorb my delirium? Did I absorb his delirium? I don't know. Okay. Like, it is so fucking close. He's just like, what the fuck is this? You know? It's like, what the fuck is this? Fuck ass like flower. And yeah, so that's when Rel showed up and he puts both of the flowers in his pockets, one on each side, and since they're in close proximity, they're basically fucking humming and vibrating. So Idia goes to stand like further away from the party as Rel is talking because he is vibrating the flower. It's like, you know when you have two phones that are just like ringing in your pocket and everybody can hear it or just see that you're vibrating because yeah, it just keeps vibrating. Yeah, that's basically it. So Idia is just like, okay, guys, I really enjoyed. I would like to go return this to my handler now. Okay, he doesn't say handler. Idia just keeps saying, I would like to return this to somebody that can research it. He's basically, Idia is trying to not say the term handler as much as he can in public, right? Even if people know it, he just doesn't like to use the term handler in public amongst people who are not of the Abyssal Hunter or Academy faction. So, as I'm starting in 3 minutes, by the way, so Idia is like, I would like to return these now because, you know, my pockets are vibrating. And then so Idia leaves and then Thane and Storm follow, leaving Tarnath and Bruno behind. So then Tarnath and Bruno have a nice moment. Well, I don't know if it's considered a nice moment, but basically Tarnath turns around to Bruno and it's just like, after this, I'm cutting you off. You cannot keep gambling. You know, like we are stopping this or I'm leaving. Like literally, like yeah, you stop gambling or I'm leaving. Essentially, because Tarnath and Bruno, they're like childhood friends. There's also some drama because haha, Idia might also be connected to something. Anyway, so childhood friends, and then Bruno says like, I've already stopped gambling. I'm just paying off this debt right now. I swear I haven't gambled in a while. I'm clean. And Tarnath is like, okay, I will believe in you, as that's what the Sacred Flame would do. And Bruno is like, so they start talking about the past basically. Like Bruno was like, do you remember? Were you there when a meteor fell? And Tarnath was like, yeah, I was there when a meteor fell. And you know, talk about the past and talk about like how like people deserted the posts and people could have survived if the posts were not, you know, like left. Like if people didn't like abandon their posts. Bruno basically carries like vengeance, like this strong resentment towards any of the other Hood Atlantis of his platoon that abandoned their posts, leaving them all to get into trouble, you know, leaving those who stayed behind to get into trouble, severe trouble with the delirium. Because Bruno believes that if everyone had just stayed at their posts, right, they could have prevented this this whole delirium outbreak, the spread, and like, yeah. Okay, I'm gonna drink water. I'm thirsty. My throat is dying. Also, if you're wondering why I'm drinking water a little bit weirdly, it's because I have medicine on my lips, so I have to drink from like the corner of my mouth, which is very, very uncomfortable. Thank you for the hydrate, Rin. I don't. Okay, also, about the onion thing, I just checked. It's not a local problem, it's a problem with. Ow. It's a problem with the official program. After the update, something broke. So it's not us. It's not something that the modeler, my 3D modeler could do about it. It's nothing about that I can do about it. We just have to wait for an update to see if it fixes the situation. They peel onion. I know, they peel onion. Also, fun fact, guys, I forgot to say this. I'm planning to add more throwables in the TITS in the future. You guys are sub. You guys are staying here anyway. It's fine. We'll just talk about this until like the ads finish, and then we'll talk about Idia again. I found gummy shark throwables, and I was like, oh my god, gummy shark. So I was thinking to make a throwable thing for Idia. So whenever like somebody redeems it, we throw like gummy sharks for Idia. Yeah, it's for Idia. This is Idia's lunch money. give him the little gummy shark. I was thinking maybe we'll add it to the bits. So if people like do bits, then Idia gets gummy sharks. Don't know. I wish there was a way for me to like spawn an Idia and then just start throwing shit at that Idia instead. But I think that would be too much coding for me. So I'm just not gonna do it. Actually, speaking of Idia, I really should have Idia on the screen somewhere, huh? Give me a sec. Where? Come here, Idia. Where are you? Which Idia do we want today? You can always bring up Rin's Idia. Oh, he big. He can sit next to me, I guess. Is that enough? That's a bit far. Yeah, Idia. I love how you can see the transparency of his tail a little bit. You can see the lighting on his tail. Isn't it pretty? It's so pretty. Yeah, it's so pretty. Hi, Tsuki. I wanna just get people to draw Idia all the time. So part of me wants to go on like Skeb to find artists that can draw Idia, but also I'm too afraid. Too afraid. Oh wait, I just realized Idia's tail is so bit transparent. Huh. Yeah. Whoops. Anyway, like part of me has to go find Skebs for Idia, and I'm like, I called it. We could ask. Remember the artist who did my corrupted AU? I'm like, you draw Idia. I think Idia would look really cool in your style. But anyway, sorry, that's just the Idia tangent. Back to what's on hand actually. So, actually I'll put Idia on the other side so that he's not being blocked by chat. I can make him bigger now that he's on the other side. There you go. He looks like he's real. Okay, too big. He's too big. It's unnerving me. He's too real. He's too big. Okay. Yeah, okay. He's not the. Remember, guys. I'm the streamer, not Idia. Anyway, so back to the stuff at hand. So, Idia jump scare. Idia, look at him. Our boy. our good boy. But yeah, so after Tarnath and Bruno, they have their moment. Oh yeah, wait, no, sorry, we're talking about Tarnath and Bruno's moment. So Tarnath and Bruno, they were like, okay, so Bruno believes that like they could have stopped the delirium outbreak if everyone had stayed at their posts, right? So Bruno has a strong resentment to anybody he considers a deserter that was part of his old platoon in the Hooded Lanterns. Tarnath also says like, okay, I do also believe, and I want to help you with this. I want to also bring order to those that deserve it. Because like he understands, but also at the same time, it's like, you know, some people who should have stayed left, and he's like, okay, as order of the sacred flame, the flame shall decide. You know, basically, essentially, like Tarnath is saying, like he's gonna help Bruno, and so Bruno's a little bit like happy. He's like, okay, my friend's gonna help me, and you know, nice. So that conversation kind of ends there. Cut back to Idia, Storm, and Thane entering the hotel, right? Also, sorry if I like jump a lot between stuff or like I take pauses. This summary is fucking long, okay? We had a 5-hour session and I'm trying to recap it, and I'm just one guy recapping the whole thing, okay? We do still have the Google document, okay? The one that's pinned, that's the Google document for Idia's session notes. Go read it if you want to read the out-of-character session notes, know what happened in each of the sessions, and also read it if you want to know what Idia personally wrote down in the... Don't make the session shorter, Ray, please, I beg you. I cannot. Dude, I was so fucking afraid you were gonna end the session again. Like before the market thing, and I was like, no, I still need to play. I just wanna like, hopefully next time we can remind everybody about the session a bit beforehand, so people can like eat dinner and shower before the session. So at the very least, like during the session, nobody gets too tired. That's one thing that I'm like, okay. I don't want to use the word enforced, I will just say highly suggested. Forgot about these things in the event was missing. Oh, pink day off. Yeah. I didn't realize as well. I was brainrotting so fucking hard, I didn't fucking notice. Every day, I just show up because I fucking know. I'm here for it. But yeah, so essentially, right? So Idia, Thane, and Storm go to the hotel, and there, because now it's basically around like 9 a.m. already. Yeah, now it's already like 9 a.m. He's like, everybody in the hotel is more or less awake. It's all the academy people doing their work in the morning, and in there, Idia sees Alric, River, Kale, and Nail. So Kale is hunter number 5, essentially. A dragonborn, a copper dragonborn, and then Nail is number 5's handler. So, and then Alric, as you guys all know, is Idia's handler. I think that's all the people that we saw, you know, besides River, right? And then Alric seems to be waiting for Idia. So as Idia approaches, Alric is like, here is your supplies. And then like this giant crate. And there's like crossbow bolts, there's another hand crossbow, there's health potions as well. And then also the... I don't know if you have a name for these, Rain, but I started calling them the stabilization doses, yeah. Stabilization boosters? Wait, what did I write in my fucking book? Hold on. I wrote it down. I started calling them a certain something. My fucking book will show up. Yeah, stabilization dose. So, yeah, so basically we get two stabilization doses of the delirium syringe. I will get very like eventually. I just need to name things. I'm so sorry. This is my OCD speaking. No, not Idia. This is a player's OCD speaking to start naming things. Though in character, I kind of assume Idia would start like calling this a certain way, and he'll like, if there's no name given to it, he'll just give it his own name, and he'll like get used to it until told otherwise to change it. Oh, I hope more people draw Idia with his nose scar. I love him. Fun fact, by the way, Idia's nose scar that you see is based off a scar I have IRL. That's it was just a fun little nod. I was like, you know what? I have this scar, might as well just give it to Idia. Because there is lore for Tetsuya where Tetsuya physically doesn't have any scarring. There's a lore reason why Tetsuya doesn't have any scarring. But Idia does not have Idia does not have that lore. Idia does not have that kind of protection. He will get scarred. He will get very, very scarred everywhere. That's badass. Hell yeah. This is badass. I always find it very funny about the scar because it's a very anime design scar. It's so funny that it's like, oh yeah, I actually do physically have this scar. Though you can't go looking for me because it's well hidden. I have this scar. But I have, you know, taken good care of it, that most of it has healed over. Most of it has healed over, so it's not very obvious on my face. It's only obvious if you look at it. There have been any anime allegations, dude. I don't want to be a fucking main character. I just want to exist. But yeah, so essentially, Idia gets his supplies from Alric, and I will say this is part of Idia's internal feelings. Idia was just as surprised as I was as a player when I saw the additional hand crossbow. It was very much like within the span of 3 seconds, Idia went through a whole slew of emotions and realizations. Basically, he's like, okay, crossbow bolts, and then he gets a handbow, and he's just like, crossbow? Why? And then he realizes it's because Idia had to give up his crossbow to somebody else and he couldn't use it. And Alric was like, okay, I don't want this to happen to Idia again, where he doesn't have a ranged weapon in case he finds somebody else who has it too. And Alric wants to reinforce the fact that Idia has to use his ranged weapons. Should be using his ranged weapons actually, in fact. And so he gives him a crossbow, and Idia did not ask for this, because usually, you know, like Idia like says like, okay, I need supplies, stuff like that. He's used to reporting like what he needs and getting exactly what he needs when he had his previous handler. But with Alric is like, yeah, I see this in advance, and he gives it to Idia. So it's very much like Idia is like, oh wait, oh he's like, he realizes that Alric did it without him asking. It's like, oh, Alric cared on his own behalf to do this for him, and Idia's just like, oh, thank you. it was very much like he couldn't express it publicly either, so he was just like, oh, okay, thank you. So it came off as very dry and very like ungrateful almost, but like, what can they do? They're both Idia and his handler are fucking emotionally constipated, okay? It's so funny because like you see Kyle and Nail, right, over there having like, they're more open with the bond of each other and like taking care of each other, and then like Alric and Idia are just both very like, don't talk to me. both Idia and Alric are very like DGAF. I don't give a fuck. So funny. Just the fucking eccentrics, you know, the eccentrics into he cares, yeah, he cares. So internally Idia was like, oh, he cares, and you know, it's like the brief moment of like faltering, his facade faltering, and then he quickly recomposes himself and takes the supplies, and he just realizes how fucking heavy it is. Like Alric is holding the shit with one hand, like Idia holds it with 2 hands, and he's just like, whoa. You know, like when you pick something up for the first time, you're just like, oh my god. When they let go, you're just like, oh shit, it's actually heavier than you thought, you know, like, boom. Right. And Idia then is like, okay, holding the crate, like, okay, I'm gonna go back to resupply then. Because Alric also says, Idia approaches Alric to say, I have more reports to give, and Alric is like, so soon? And Idia's like, yes. It's only been like what, like barely 12 hours since Idia gave his previous report. No, not even 12 hours, less than like 6 hours since Idia gave his previous report to Alric, and Alric, it's just like, there's small things that happen, and Alric is like, okay, sure, go back to your room, and Idia's like, okay, I'll go off to my room. Go back to your room, mister, and it's just like, okay. Go to his room to wait for Alric. Idia passes off the stealth check to hide the fact that he is fucking vibrating. Because of the flowers. And then Rin makes this hilarious fucking video. This hilarious fucking video of like Alric's POV when Idia is like, has both the flowers in his pockets. I need to like... This is so funny. How do I'm gonna download this. It's so funny. Alric POV flowers. The JBL speaker flowers. This is insane. Wait, let me see if I can put it up on stream. I'm gonna quickly put it up. Let's see if it works. Is it working? Oh, there it is.
I want you to be mine again, baby. I know my life's
Look at that! This shit, like, okay. So the Rin like make this during the session. I was like, what the fuck is this? So stupid. Okay, I'll play it again for people who missed it. I'll play it again.
I want you to be mine again, baby. I know my life's
It's so fucking funny. He's trying so hard, he's like, don't notice. I know, he's trying so hard. And the thing is, right? The thing is. So, Idia has this shit going on. And then I roll a stealth check to hide it, right? Right as I roll the stealth check, out of character, the bot that Rain uses for music just fucking dies. The second I roll the stealth check and I pass, the bot just fucking vanishes and it all goes silent. And I'm like, shit bro, it just stealth checked too good, he muted the music. So that's where the JBL speaker flowers, the meme came from. It's so stupid. I was like, what the fuck? Idia, please, your aura farming too hard. Idia, your aura is too strong, Idia. Stop it. Stop it, Idia. It's so cinematic. It's so funny, honestly. So, anyway. At least all the rest of us got that. Dude, Idia has more fucking, like, aura than I do. My own OC has so much more aura than I do. Oh, man. And even now, like, people are like, oh my god. Even people now are just like, oh, Tetsuya, you should totally have like an Idia model. And I'm just like, do you know how much that's gonna cost? I guess if I get an Idia model, like I can actually like physically turn on my fucking model whenever I do DnD. But I feel like that's like a bit crazy. Not gonna lie. But yeah, I'm just like, Idia, please leave some for the rest of us. You're too it's crazy, dude. Also, I love how everyone draws Idia with like eyelashes, like really, really heavy eyelashes. Like not even because most of my AUs, people don't draw my AUs with eyelashes. The only ones is from Idia, Pretty Man for real. Yeah, he's the pretty boy. Oh my god. Suki, if I have money one day and after you finish my rooster commission, I might grab you for Idia. Everyone has to draw him for the weekend. Idia has become like everyone's little meow meow, and I think it's hilarious actually. Why are you on the floor, Suki? No. Get up! Get up, you can't die yet! You have OCs to draw! You have commissions to do! I'm kidding, I'm kidding, I'm kidding. Anyway, so... as Idia is trying to go back up to his room, Nail is like, oh, did you two have fun? And Idia's like, what? What is your broken die now? That's how I feel all the time. Yeah, then so like, Idia is about to go up and Nail interrupts him and is like, oh, did you two have fun? And Idia is like, what? I like to assume, okay, so, okay, this is just like additional information. I roleplayed Idia in a way where it's like he knew what Nail was referring to. He just wanted to play it off as like he didn't know what Nail was talking about so that Nail would lay off him. And then Nail pushed further and was like, oh, you know, like this morning with you and Thane. And then Thane like picked his head up like, hi. And then Idia's just like, that's none of your business. I think Mage Thane said something like elucidating? Yeah, elucidating. And then Idia is like, none of your business. And I find it really funny because like essentially what Nail has been hinting to and the way that both Idia and Thane have been reacting kind of makes it seem as if there's like a secret relationship going on between the two. And I think it's really, really funny because like they both just keep leaning into it and I'm just like, like with every dialogue exchange that like goes on, it just gets more and more sus. And I'm just like, well, I don't think Idia would notice actually, because I wouldn't. I have physically been in this situation many times where people are like, are you guys together? I'm like, what? No. Everything I've said is the truth. And they're just like, oh, like actually? And I'm like, yeah. I'm genuinely just so honest about like there's just like, oh yeah, no, there's no innuendo. I'm just being 100% brutally honest. This is just exactly what happened. So I was like, if I don't get it, then Idia doesn't. I'm gonna be honest, I didn't fucking get it at first either until like, I think even, I can't tell if Mage was leaning into it. I really can't. I really can't tell. I'm not good at this kind of shit, bro. I'm not good at this shit. So I just think it was funny. That like basically Neil was hinting there was something going on further between the two of them. And neither of them are making it better for their case. Because Idia is just like, he just doesn't want to answer. He doesn't want to entertain basically. Like Idia is like, I don't care what you think. If it's not going, I don't want to explain myself to you if it means that I'm going to expose something else. So I'm just going to let you think what you want to think. He's just very much like, yeah. IDGAF. IDGF. Yeah, so he tries to brush past Nalo essentially. And then Kale steps in front of Idia to block his way. And just keep in mind, if I'm Idia, this is how Idia's looking up to Kale. Because Kale is much fucking taller than Idia is. Not as tall as Albric, but tall. Idia simply does not care. He does not care. Idia does not care. He's very much like, he has an objective and he only cares about said objective, nothing else. And I think that's something that's very, I'm just like, oh, Idia, my boy, my beloved. But yeah, so, essentially, Idia then kind of like, doesn't back down. And Idia just looks up at Kale, and Kale is like, my handler asked you a question. Would you please answer it? And Idia looks up and says, I am not obligated to answer to any handler outside of my own. And the tension in the air is palpable, guys. The tension is high. And very simply put, everyone's staring, none of them are backing down. Silence. And Idia says again, would you please get out of the way? And another beat of silence passes. And then Kale finally steps away and says, you are as per Hunter Code, you are under no obligation to respond. Like basically it says like reaffirming what Idia said. Right? Like he's not obligated to respond to any other handler besides his own. Right? This is like as part of the rules, right? And so as Idia is passing by, he spares a glance towards Kale. And Kale glances towards him, and they meet eye contact. And in that brief eye contact, Idia can tell Kale only respects him because of his rank. He does not respect Idia otherwise. He only respects Idia because of his rank. Nothing else. And Idia is like, okay, I don't care. I don't care. My rank is higher than them anyway. I'm better than them, so it doesn't matter. I don't care. Beef with me all you want. It's very much a little bit of like, Idia usually doesn't really compare himself to other hunters. He doesn't really usually compare himself in general of being good at something or not, but this guy tried to beef with him. Idia is like, I'm higher ranked than you. Eat it, suck it. He does, yeah. Idia was like a little bit peeved enough to kind of like yeah, I'm better than you. He usually doesn't think this way, but in that moment I was like, you know what, yeah, no, Idia would be like, sit down, rank number 5, sit down. Idia, again, he's the youngest Abyssal Hunter, but he's ranked number 2 out of seniority. Because he's like basically like the second longest active hunter, besides 1. I don't know much about 1 yet, out of character, so... Regardless. After this session, so after that Idia leaves, and then I remember Nail turns to Auric and is like, oh, why don't you put a leash on your little beastie? And I was like, oh damn. Nail moving the beef to Auric is like, oh, tea. It's like, oh, should you control him a little bit better, essentially, or like, his attitude. And then Auric is just like, you know how he is. It's like, Auric is very much like, you know how he is, and something like that. I can't remember exactly what he said, but I can like think, I'll go and try to remember later. And then Auric is like, everyone get back to work, because everyone's like staring at the situation. Auric's like, get back to work, stop asking me about this, stop thinking about this shit. Raina's gonna start my yaoi detectors. So funny. the yaoi within the hunters is so strong, which is really funny. All these guys are beefing with each other. Oh man. Anyway, so then Idia's like. So then Idia kind of leaves. So then the tension goes back to Storm. Because Storm actually was talking with Nalo, and Storm was told by Nalo about this, like, Saints of the Chapel of Saint Brenna. There's a miracle healer going on there, and very strange, very, very, like, interesting. They're not part of Sacred Flame, which is very interesting, very weird, because Sacred Flame is the most widely known, like, healers. And this strange healer is governing outside of the Sacred Flame's influence, which is like, that's interesting, And so then, after that, both Storm and Thane get called by River, and River tells them about the Reed Manor, namely telling Thane Reed Manor is important to the Academy. About how, like, oh, the Reed Manor's occupants, they kind of like lost contact recently. The strange delirium haze around them also vanished, and and then a cryptic final letter was like, we are ready to receive our reflections. And I'm just like, okay, y'all, I gotta bring this up next session when everyone's a bit more awake, because it's because we haven't decided which mission yet, but basically, I'll just like preface. We haven't decided which mission to go on yet. We'll get them, there's more details about them later. I wrote them down already in the summary. But out of character, I'm leaning very, very, very hard into going for Reed Manor. Not just because Idia is invested in it, but also because this seems to have ties to the letter that we got in session 3 with about House Volunteer and the Black Lilies. And also the fact that there's no delirium in the area, and we know that out of character that this delirium, the lack of delirium rather, is directly a result of the family's research. So this potentially could be very groundbreaking information, and also is related to the Black Lilies likely. So I'm like, this is very much like it would solve a lot of it would solve this personal mystery of ours. Like we will kind of lean together like research this personal mystery of ours. That's what I believe out of character. Obviously, I still think that the Saint Brenna Chapel is still very important. Because like, what do you mean there's a heretic? What do you mean there's like defectors there? And I can tell that personally, I think that that one is very important to. I think that side would be very important to Tarnath and Bruno. I don't know about Storm. Storm is a wild card I haven't figured out yet, because Storm has a lot of context due to the whole like roleplay, where Storm is from. Right, there's a lot of characters that I didn't realize Storm knew that I also knew, that kind of thing. But it's mainly because both Idia and Storm like work in this area, so it would make sense that they know a lot of people, right? But yeah, so out of character, a lot of like personal involvement, mysteries, plus a lot of mysteries regarding the Black Lilies and the current stuff that we are encountering so far. I would say Reed Manor is the best bet. However, for backstory reasons, I know Tarnath and Bruno have a lot of, most of their eggs are in the basket of Saint Brenna. So, while I would be happier if we went to Reed Manor, I think that, like, I wouldn't also complain about going to the chapel, because I think that it potentially would be a lot of grounds for Tarnath and Bruno to roleplay, or to just develop. Idia had a lot of his segments already. Same with Thane. So I feel like that one might be quite interesting to go there to explore the other characters. So it's very much dependent of like story development or character development for me. And I like both. Obviously, knowing Rain as well, I know Rain is gonna find a way to involve all of us and have all of us have our own moments at each point, which I definitely want. Because definitely if we go to Saint Chapel, we will be dealing with delirium corruption again. In some way, because it's only if we go to the manor that we don't really deal with the risk of corruption, because we know that there's no delirium in the area. We can find research on it, but nothing to do with the actual delirium itself. But I'm pretty sure if we go to the chapel, there's gonna be delirium. So still room for Idia to shine. So I'm fine with whatever in the end, depending on what the group picks. But my vote will be for Ray Manor. Anyway, so. So as like basically Thane also has investment in Reed Manor, because Thane knows that Reed Manor has ties, the research is tied to the runic skeleton, and there's ties to his mentor there as well, if I'm not wrong. So yeah. Anyway, then after they have that conversation, we skip back up to where Idia is waiting for Alric in the room, and Idia, first thing he does, put those two flowers in their bottles and far apart from each other, and then he sits down and he takes his dose. He takes the dose of the stabilization shot, essentially. He takes a stabilization shot and he feels the delirium in his blood calm down a little bit. He reduces his hunger back to 1. And all that stuff. And the thing is, I still roleplay that like it doesn't feel fully like comfortable yet. There's something that's still bubbling within him and he doesn't know what it is. He can feel it, He can feel something in his delirium is disturbed. For lack of a better term, something within is disturbed and he can't identify why or what. And okay, so there's the shot as well. Like, okay, Rip, I have something I want to say. it's very common for the hunters to just like take the shots on their own, right, and dose themselves, right? Which is why I asked the question. I was like, I wonder if Idia would ask Alric to help him up, like put the shot into his spine. I feel like he would. I feel like he would. And I wanna see, oh, Isaiah. Isaiah, you missed a huge chunk of the session, but it's fine. I'm currently on the spot where Idia is in his room talking to Alric. And I was just gonna say, Isaiah. Anyway, so this is stuff that like also okay. So during my recaps, I'm also going into things that Idia felt and Idia said, like kind of implied with the, but like I didn't really emphasize in the session. So one of the things is I want Idia. I feel like Idia would be the type to ask his handler to help him apply the shot straight into the spine, because that's basically the best way to apply the stabilization shot. But since Alric wasn't around at the moment, Idia was like, I'm gonna just do it to I'm just gonna apply it to myself because I feel very innately wrong right now. I feel like something is very wrong. So he applies the shot himself, but usually he would, I feel like otherwise he would definitely ask Alric like, hey, can you apply the shot for me straight to the spine? Pain, suffering, even. I want to have moments where I feel like it wouldn't be out of character for Idia to ask. Like, I think definitely especially with his previous handler, he'll just be like, hey, just help me apply this. You know best how to apply this. Yeah. Idia is used to dosing it to himself. I feel like he usually doses it straight to his neck. Like, I think it, like, usually, like, the thing is, like, because Rain said common areas are, arm, or neck, or straight into the spine, if you're flexible enough. Idia is not flexible enough. I don't think he is. I don't think he's flexible enough to do that. And so I think, like, I was thinking, I'm like, I feel like Idia would just go straight for his neck. Because I think, like, he's like, yeah, he would probably go straight for his neck, because he would assume, I think to his mind, it would be like, this is the second best place for it to flow straight into the important parts of my body. So yeah, he goes straight for his neck. I like to imagine, I like to imagine there's probably like, Rain, would you say that there are like medical like syringe scars, like needle scars from using like a certain location too much? Do you think? Do you think? Do you think there would be like a lot of like check your back? Do you mean check your back? Yeah. I was gonna say like yeah. I was like scars, yeah. Oh, that means when Rin asked to see Idia's neck, yeah, I think Rin saw like all the fucking like needle scars. That means yeah, Idia has a lot of like, maybe that's why his hair is a bit long. Yeah, he hides the scar. So I guess I'll assume like it's usually that he applies the needle around like near like the side back of his neck. Yeah. Not right in the middle, not right at the back of his neck, because I think he would be too afraid to go that area because he doesn't want to puncture something wrong in the spine. He's like, I don't want to fucking do that. So he's kind of like in the neck, just in the neck. So the side of his neck has a lot of like these very small needle scars from the usage of the syringe. along with his arm as well, yeah, for sure. Probably he uses his neck if he's like extremely like if he's feeling it strongly, he goes for the neck. If he's feeling it like not too badly, he goes for the arm so that the scars are still like hideable. Anyway, yeah. So that also explains why Idia is so covered in general. Like it's fully covered in like from head to toe to hide the corruption, even wearing gloves. Fun fact, by the way, the bright green of Idia's hands is both his actual skin and his gloves, in a way, where it's like he has bright green gloves to distract from the fact that his hands are also bright as green. So basically, it's like just this direction, using bright colors to hide the fact that he also has a like very discolored bright green skin for his hands. You can tell the difference when he has his gloves off because you can see there's a slight gradient of like still like skin color on like the base of his like near his wrist. You can see in this art, specifically you can see in like the art that Rin drew, because Rin's one is where he has his gloves off. I have other art where you can see like the gloves are like very consistent color, because if they're consistent it means that this is like it is just his glove. Otherwise this is his real hand. His real hand is also just as green. But yeah, so anyway, he doses himself, feels the delirium calm down, but he still feels something is very off. Something within him, the delirium, is still disturbed and he can't put a finger as to why or what it is. And so he just waits there, resupplying himself and his equipment until Auric comes in. And Idia spends the next fucking hour giving his whole report of everything that has happened with the Black Lily, the nightmares, the shenanigans that went down in Bruno's house, and all that. And the Black Lily research, you know. So Eric listens the whole time, and then he just fucking sighs afterwards. Because he's like, bruh. I can just imagine he's just like, oh, what the fuck is happening? Idia is too happening. There's too many things happening with him, man. Yeah, so after that, Ulrich just asks him, I think, like, physical status, how are you feeling? And Idiot says, you know, he took a stabilization dose, it's calmed down, but he still feels like something is wrong. Something is bubbling inside of him. Something is disturbed. A sinking feeling in his chest that he cannot shake. And then Ulrich says, okay, as according to the timelines of both, like from 1 through 17 hunters, consistently, it's around this time that he should be experiencing a new mutation. And the second Idia hears the weird mutation, I feel like low-key, he would have started like dissociating a little bit. Because in character, the second hit mutation, I kind of felt myself weirdly dissociating. Welcome in, Kill Fox Heal. But yeah, so I feel myself really dissociating. Not like in the sense of where I wasn't concentrating, but in the sense that it felt like everything went slower. I don't know why. Like it felt like if the thing is like it felt like I was phasing in and out, and it felt like the breaks were longer than they were. So I thought I had like missed stuff in my dissociation, but turns out I didn't. I caught everything, and I'm like, what? It felt like it was longer than that. So I was like, you know what? Idia, here, you dissociate as well. So I took it as canon. Oh, you look like metal grade. Nice. Yeah, so it just starts like dissociating, right? And I'm like, okay. I think it dissociates whenever after the word mutation is said, and then Aura goes on to say like from the previous serum booster, not serums, previous booster shots, right? The experiments. It's basically they were great in interesting ways. Thank you. But yeah, so then Ulrich says about like, okay, you're gonna experience mutations soon, essentially, and says that experiments, the note says that it's going to enhance his physical capabilities or even give him a new form or something like something physical. And I feel myself dissociate again. I just feel myself dissociate again. And I'm like, Idia is dissociating harder. It's so funny. Yeah. So I'm just making it canon that Idia was like dissociating during the conversation after like the bomb drop of like you are going to mutate again soon. That's why you're feeling so off, and Idia's like, okay. Yeah, like Idia was like, oh, okay, alright. Idia has yeah, I think like Idia is trying to process the information of him about to, you know, going to mutate soon. I love Chekhov's gun. I need to, okay, for everyone in chat, let me explain Chekhov's gun. So, according to Wikipedia, Chekhov's gun, the principle that any detail in a story should serve a purpose in the overall narrative to fulfill reader expectations. Yeah. So, I like it. Not saying I don't. Like, out of character, I have been talking to Rain about the potential mutations that Idia could go through, and even more mutations from that instead. Also, too, I just explained for the newer people here in the chat. I'm talking about my DnD character right now, Idia, which is this guy over here on my right. He's also technically one of my alternate AUs for Tetsuya. Like, he's technically still based on this character that I'm using from a Vtuber model right now. Yeah, so I'm ready. I'm gonna cook. Rin is ready. Oh yeah, Rain. Rin is going to draw Idia with the new mutations. I've already kind of told her. Don't tell her yet what the mutation is gonna be. Don't spoil her. She and I agree. We're gonna go into it blind, and then when it happens, it happens. I have my own ideas as to how things will go down, but I do not have a clear idea of together. I see. Oh, what do you mean, Rain? Yeah, we both want to be. At least I asked Rain. Because the things for me, obviously, I have to be surprised in some way, right? Or like whatever. I have my own. Obviously, I have my own ideas and thoughts as to what's gonna happen. And I also mentioned to Rin that I'm like, I'm going to roleplay this whether or not Rain tells me to. There's a certain bit I want to do, regardless or not if you actually narrate it. But I'm going to make it happen. Basically, I'll say it happens to Idia myself. I already told Rin my idea as well. So the idea was basically, so Rin's gonna do like a rough sketch of like at least the pose anatomy and like whatever. And then during the session itself, basically once the mutation is confirmed, then she's gonna draw it and finish the sketch. That's basically how we're gonna do it. That's how we're planning to do it. So yeah, don't spoil Rin. Rin wants to figure it out. But also at the same time, Rin, are you sure you want to do it during the session? It's gonna be 4 AM for you, right? Rin? It's gonna be 4 AM for you, right? When you... Are you gonna be... Do you want to draw at that time? Do you want to like... What you gonna do, Rin? I'll let Rin decide about that. But basically, Rin is gonna draw the mutated Idia. Yeah, we both. At least please get some good rest beforehand. Like, sleep at like really early, okay? Thank you, Zale. But yeah, so we're gonna like be... We're gonna see a lot of fun stuff happen. 4 AM crash out. Rin crashing out over Idia's mutations. I can't wait, honestly. I'm so excited. Oh, Ixakuma13, thank you for the follow. Welcome in. Currently talking about my D&D character. Talking about D&D session that we just had last night. Fuck out, then we got to stay up. Okay. Just please sleep early then. Please do sleep early then. But yeah, so then... It's just dissociating in and out of the mutation conversation. You know, it's just like, pain. And, Let me see here. Okay, so then he orders Idia to rest today. Because he also mentions to Idia that consistently mutations only happen when the hunters are awake. So basically, Idia is ordered to rest today, not do anything extraneous to strain his body while he waits for a potential mutation. Hopefully the mutation happens, you know, I think Ulrich says like, hopefully the mutation happens during monitoring, which is basically today. Today is like monitoring his condition and seeing, and then I think Ulrich also asks this. I can't remember if Ulrich asked this before or after what I just said, but Ulrich says, and then asks him, Ulrich calls him Idia Campus, not as a hunter, not with his hunter title, but as an individual, calling him by his name and asking him, do you accept this change? And Idia says, I accept this change because what else can I do? And I'm like, and then like Ulrich like goes back to being unreadable, and I'm just like, Ulrich cared enough to ask how Idia was feeling about it. And the thing is like, at the same time, Idia is very much like, I'm already on this path. I'm not going to stop. I can't stop. What else can I do? Okay. I want to use this quote in the future. I want to use this quote in the future, and okay, Rain, come here, grabbing Rain. I told Rain and Zale about this quote already, so we'll keep it a surprise for the rest. But I want Rain, I feel like Rain could know this quote, because then if Rain knows this quote, then it'll be very powerful. Okay, there's this quote that I think fits Idia very well, and I feel like someone might say it to Rain. It's not something Rain, say it to Idia. The quote that says, "They made you into a weapon and then told you to find peace." It's such an Idia quote. It's such an Idia quote. It's so fitting for him, you know, like they made it's, you know, like they, oh god, I love that quote so much for Idia. It fits Idia so well. I feel very much like either somebody will say this to Idia, like his handler Ulrich, or Idia will say it himself in an outburst. I can see Idia being like yes. Yes. So I can see this quote being used for Idia. I can also very much see like Idia saying it himself, where like if somebody pushes him enough, he's gonna say, you know, they made me into weapon and then told me to find peace. What the fuck do you mean by that? You know, like he'll be pissed off when he says it, that kind of thing. I love that quote. It's so fitting for Idia, you know, and like that's why like internally, the thing is Idia still doesn't necessarily like resent it in a way, because at the same time he knows he signed up for this indirectly, right? Idia chose to become a hunter. Obviously he didn't know exactly what it meant at the time to be turned into a delirium tainted monster, right? But Idia just tells himself, he reminds himself, like, what am I doing this for? And I'm doing this so that other people don't have to lose anyone else to delirium. And so Idia accepts the change because it's still gonna make him stronger. It's still working towards his goals, but it's going to always be the inner turmoil of like he's just a monster, and he's just gonna keep becoming more and more monstrous by the day, and each and every mutation reminds him of that he is no longer the person he once was. Not by name, not by blood, not by body, he is no longer the same person he once was. So he will always have that hesitation, you know, that hesitation to change, as things always are. He has changed so much. So in a way, it's like, what's another change? But also, how much more am I going to change, right? So is that very like in between. So that's how Idia feels about every new mutation that comes his way. He accepts it. He's just gonna hesitate about it, but he's gonna accept it in the end because he knows that is exactly what he signed up for, and that is what he's working towards in the end for his goal. So all of that behind that reply to Ulrich, essentially. And then Ulrich says something. I think Ulrich is saying about like, okay, so you're the hunter, you decide in the end what you do with the missions, but I will just tell you about the missions. And then tells Idia about the whole mission thing. I wrote it down in the session notes, but again, like I mentioned it before. So let's read it out very briefly. Chapel of St. Brenna, East, decrepit and ruined. Deserter's Chapel, there's a healer performing miracles beyond sacred flame. Risk of more people falling to the heretics. The job is to investigate and stop the heretics and deserters. For Idia specifically, Ulrich mentions, to return with the asset, the healer. Right? If you go to Reed Manor, it's in the west, still in good condition and untouched. Delirium haze isn't there. Lost contact with the owners. Last message is a cryptic letter. We are ready to receive a reflection. Investigate to determine what happened and what changed. Other third parties have gone into scavenge, never came out according to scouts. So all of these are all of this. This is the preface of the two missions that we can choose in the next session as a party. We're choosing this as a party, not individually. But then yeah, after this, as he's telling Idia about the Reed Manor, Ulrich tells Idia to not look further into the research. And for a brief moment, Idia can read Ulrich's tone and internal feelings. And Idia can tell that there is genuine worry and concern for Idia. Not from the Amethyst Academy trying to hide their secrets or anything like that, but from genuinely like the research might consume Idia if he reads too much into it. Very much like if you stay ignorant of the research, don't look into it, you'll be fine. But it's kind of like Pandora's box, like don't open Pandora's box essentially. And Ulrich is worried for Idia in that sense, like actual genuine worry for Idia the person, and it's like, oh. And Idia sees that and then he's just like, understood. And I still, as of right now, can't say for certain what Idia is going to do with this information or how he's gonna feel about it just yet. The feeling is at the moment unexplained and he's still going through it. And then Ulrich takes both the flowers, because Idia tells him to take both flowers, right? To go and leave. The black flower, the black lily originally for as a control, and then now the green one, each one changed by Idia, and hands it over to both of them to Ulrich. A part of me wanted to keep the green flower because I feel like, in a way, I just gave away part of my DNA, no? But then I thought about it and I was like, no, Idia would trust Ulrich enough to take both the flowers and experiment and like come back with answers. Idia is still, I would say that Idia is not fully like 100% like, yeah, I'm okay with giving it over. He's not 100% okay with it. He like low-key wanted to keep one of them, but he knew that for the sake of the experimentation process, you do need a control and then you do need the special flower, so he ended up giving away both. Though deep down, he wanted to keep the green one. Because technically, he only needs to experiment on one of them, but also, like, hey, if they can find out what happened to the green flower, like, why did it react to him? And how did he do that? It would be good for Idia, right? Also, I'm still not over the fact that like Nail told Ulrich, would you want to put a leash on that? You should put a leash on your little feisty hunter, and I'm like, oh, damn, all right. So Ulrich leaves, and then Idia basically kind of like, and then Idia suddenly has a fucking like, oh my god, his room is already dark, right? Generally, his room is just lit with candles, curtains drawn, that kind of thing. Idia starts hearing voices, and I'm like, Idia's like, where? Right? And then in the mirror he sees it. His reflection. The monstrous reflection of himself. The jaws like open wide like a snake, like a serpentine, the like fins. The fins running across, you know, his back. Elongated, you know, the tail even more like, you know, more than just what he has right now. Long serpentine neck and body and that kind of thing. Basically it's very monstrous, right? And like it has his face, you know, and it's speaking to him, you know, like something about like evolution. But I write it down. Oh yeah, it talks about evolution, becoming the apex, like becoming the apex predator or something, or reaching the apex, I think, of evolution. I can't remember exactly the terms, but I remember the words evolution and apex. And then this reflection starts laughing at him, and then he says, and then it says, "Find out the truth." And then the mirror shatters. And this whole time, like in character, I was like so on edge because Idia was going to break the mirror. I was just waiting for the perfect time to say I'm gonna go break the mirror, because the mirror immediately fucking shatters on its own, and I was just like, I was planning to break the mirror. So Idia was like, oh shit, what the fuck? And no, in the back of Idia's mind, he's just like, find out the truth. What? And out of character, I'm just like, oh boy. If I read the read manners notes, actually, it might be crazy for Idia. Oh, ad break. But yeah, so I'm gonna drink some water actually. I haven't drank water in an hour and I've been yapping non-stop about this recap.
Remember to stay hydrated.
I am hydrating. Thank you, Rin. To send an ambulance? Why? Are you dying, Rin? Are you dying? Oh. Dad, without me? Without me? Can I get some, Rin? Come on. Come on. Can I get some? Come on. Man. Where's my brain rot? Where's my brain rot? Secret? Man! It's fine, it's fine. But yeah, take your time, enjoy Rin. I hope you enjoy the brain rot. But yeah, I have... Strong man. Yeah, I have my own thoughts about it, and I'll see what happens. I will just say at the moment, out of character, I want to read into the research. But as of right now, Idia is still very unsure, leaning to I'm not gonna touch the research because Ulrich told me to. Told me not to. And then I'm like, cause the thing is that, okay, across all the Tetsuya universes, right? Inherently, Tetsuya is made to be a curious character, so Idia would also innately be curious, both for better or for worse. Curiosity has given everyone, has given each of these Tetsuya AUs horrible fucking endings, because they got too curious, and it's a running trope. So part of me is like, I might just pursue the running trope and commit. But also at the moment, Idia is very conflicted. On one hand, it's like, okay, but it's so... I wasn't interested in the research in the first place, but now that you tell me I something not to touch it, it must be something important relating to me, right? So he's like, oh, now on one hand, Ulrich is telling me because he doesn't want me to, because he knows that it's bad for me. He thinks that it's bad for me. But also at the same time, it's very much like, Ulrich, you can't protect me forever. Ulrich, you can't protect me from this. Don't you love choice? I love choice. Yeah. That choice will be made when the time comes. At the moment, Idia is conflicted, leaning to no. Out of character, I'm like, yes, I want to know. I want to know. And even if Idia does find out, right, he's keeping it all to himself. He refuses to share anything related to the Abyssal Hunters with the party. This is something that's gonna be a consistent thing where he really does not want to share Abyssal Hunter stuff with the party, especially if it pertains to him. Because it's very much like, I don't want my whole party to think I'm just some monster. And the more I talk about this, the more they know I'm just a monster. Yeah. So... yeah. So that's gonna be fun when the time comes around if we do go to Reed Manor. Which is why out of character I also really go to Reed Manor, but down to go either way, because either way Ulrich tells Idia like, you have a mission in both areas. And Idia has an asset to collect in the chapel, so Idia is like, I will retrieve assets, yes! I will do job! I will do my mission! Never change Idia. He's so one-track mind, I love him. But yeah, so after the whole talk of the mutation and the mirror thing, he just kind of like sits back down on his bed and he just like sighs very heavily, sinks into the bed, and just we leave him there to decompress and like process the fucking fact he's gonna mutate again for like 30 minutes. I basically say, okay, it just gotta be there for 30 minutes. He's not moving. He's not coming out of his room. He needs to process the fact that he's going to mutate likely today or very, very soon. So, yeah. Idia then, after a while, then the market time appears. Yay, market! I'll gloss over it because I kind of wrote down everything already. So, Storm buys arrows, fails a persuasion check, has to pay 5 GP for 20 arrows. Then, as I'm browsing, I roll a D2 and happen across this table. And this table has the Rin NPC. And she starts whistling over for Idia. And I'll just say that like TLDR, Rin is like down bad for anyone who's like hot within her vicinity in this like NPC, like as an NPC. She's just down bad for everyone, and it's just like, yes, I want to see Idia. And then she calls over Idia, and Idia is at first a little bit like hesitant and just like, I don't know if I want to be here. But the second he sees magical items on the table and he sees there's magical items related to people that he knows, he's just an Abyssal Hunter stuff, and he's just like, alright, I'm interested again. What the fuck? So we see a lot of items. I listed them out. I don't think I got all the descriptions down correctly, but it was just what I could catch. There's Vane's Codex, Vane's Old Mantle, Gauntlets of Abyssal Hunter Mate, Sliver of Vibrating Delirium Shard, Arcane Monocle, Syringe of Spiral, Delirium in Glass, Depictions of Mutations in Book. Really want that mutation book actually. Out of character, like I want to know. I want to see potentially what Idia can become, and I'm very interested. But yeah, so essentially, all of these are things that Idia can, I'm worried. What are you worried about? Zale. What are you worried about? Yeah, so I don't want to end up fighting Idia as the fallen Abyssal Hunter. Like it's some Dark Souls boss. Well, I don't know if that's ever gonna happen, but if it does, then oops. His mutations are proceeding apace, I guess. He's gonna mutate again. He can control the delirium in him to a degree. It just needs like he just needs stabilization shots every once in a while. Imagine though, imagine if you guys had to fight him. Imagine if you guys had to fight him. That would actually be it would be a pretty interesting encounter if you guys had to fight him to knock him out if he's going a little bit crazy. I'm excited. Gonna weep. Hey man. I did detail already some ideas. But yeah, obviously it will not be willing. Idia will not willingly fight or like, you know, corrupt on his own. Like that's his whole thing, you know, he's not gonna do it on his own. He's fighting it as he's fighting his own blood, you know, half the time he's fighting his own internal turmoil. That is his battle that's always happening. The internal delirium inside of him. And the fact that he is the monster he is fighting, you know, very much becoming a monster to hunt other monsters. Ah, Idia, you're so cool. You're such a fucking badass anyway. So Idia ends up buying Vane's old mantle and the syringe for 100 GP after they do a lot of persuasion, and Idia lets Rin touch his tail. And he just stands there as like Rin is like jumping on his, like just hugging his tail and like smushing her face into it. He's just there like, okay. But he really wanted the items. Okay, out of character, I really wanted the book first. But I feel like, in a way, I didn't want Idia to be spoiled of that just yet. I am very, very curious for the book out of character. But I feel like Idia in character, knowing the fact that he's going to mutate, he doesn't want to fucking know. He doesn't want to fucking know right now. He doesn't want to know right now. He wants to know after. He doesn't want to know right now. If he knows right, I think knowing right now it's gonna be too much for him to handle. So I would think that out of like in character, he avoided the book because he didn't want to know just yet. And his statement for the syringe, because he was like, I want to know what this syringe does. It's gonna crash out. Yeah, it's very much like, you know, when you've just finished like a math exam or something, and you know, and you think you did badly, right? And then you see somebody sharing the answers to the math exam. You don't want to see that shit. You don't want to know how badly you did, right? You know what I mean? You don't want to know how badly you did. You're just gonna wait for the final result. It's like that. Idia doesn't want to know yet. He doesn't want to know how bad it can get. He'll just figure it out when it happens to him. Is that feeling? So as much as I wanted to know, I felt like Idia would not go for the book. So in the end, I went for mental first, because in a very unfortunate way as well, Idia cares for Vane, and he's very much like, you know, like even if he dislikes Vane, right, in some way, like Vane was the one that basically was his like dad in a way. So when he saw the mantle, he was like, I wanna, you know, it's just a very subconscious feeling of like, I wanna get the item that I'm familiar with. This item that I used to see so often that is associated to this familiar person in my mind. I'm going to get the item because it's familiar to me. Mostly, again, for sentimental value. If you guys can't tell by now, Idia is very sentimental. Shall we listen to one of his sentimental songs? You guys want to listen to it? One of his newer songs I put on his Spotify playlist. We can even do like the Idia, like we can break down some of his songs later if you guys want to. But I know that would take a lot of time. after we finish the session recap, I will like probably end stream. And then after my lunch, I'll start stream again. So we can stream the hacker game. I'll end stream mainly because I just want to keep the VOD separate. So it's easier for me to upload them separately onto my YouTube channel. Yeah. But yeah, I will put, you know what, let's listen to the new song for Idia that I just put on for his. I'll turn this off for now. And we'll put on, this is one of his sentimental songs that I just added. Okay, it's not too loud, that's fine. So he ended up taking the syringe because I felt like in character and out of character, it's like, oh, what's this like serum gonna do, you know? Like, is this a left behind thing from Vane? Because he knows that the syringes, the special ones, more related to Vane, you know? Yeah, that line, dying, decomposing. Yeah, and he's just holding onto Vane's mantle as well. Cause it's the one thing he finds familiar, the one thing again, basically he went for the items that he felt like were left behind by Vane. Basically. It's quite sorry, this song is like, I'm like, this is so dramatic. Yeah, so I ended up going for these items because Idia felt the most familiar with these items. The syringe, which he knows that likely could only probably been made by Vane, and the mantle he used to see Vane wear all the time. He also wanted the gauntlets, but I feel like he would have cared more for Vane at the moment. Yeah. Poor Idia. Anyway, so we know what these items do now, and the mantle basically is like, it protects the mind from like the delirium corruption and stuff like that. And the syringe is a one-time use consumable that basically gives the Abyssal Hunter, like Idia, a huge boost. But then after, if he fails a concept at the end of it, he mutates further. So it's like, he mutates further. But yeah, this is the song that I just added, and I'm like, it's very, it describes his sentimental thoughts a lot. Yeah. Okay, back to music. Typical music. Anyway, so then after Idia leaves, right? Then he kind of like, he walks as far away as possible because he's very disturbed by Rin NPC. So fucking funny. Like, Idia was like basically like covering himself, like he was like, I don't look at me. He doesn't like how the way like Rin was looking at him. It's so funny. So he walks away. And basically, in my mind, he goes to rest under a tree in like the southwest side of Emberwood Village. And this is where Thane and Storm plan something, because Thane wants to steal the codex. And I'll just say, Storm goes invisible thanks to Thane's magic. And then like as Storm approaches the caravan, because like they're preparing to leave, right? Storm overhears my day and Rin talking. And basically saying stuff like, oh, did the old man really just want us to see them? Like the jaw, like whatever. And then like Rin was like, yeah, I just want to see them and wanted to just check on like his little experiment. I remember this, Rain. Tell me if I'm fucking imagining this, but I swear to God, I heard you say something about his little experiment. And I'm like, oh. You know, God, nice. Nice. Okay, that means I'm right. I did hear it correctly, so I did write it down. I wrote down that Idia that Idia also like knows that Storm heard this, so down the grapevine basically. And I'm like, ha 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 ha. Interesting. Idia is Vayne's little meow meow. Oh, hold on. Got an important message. Okay. But yeah, so I'm like, if you guys want to read the full entry that Idia wrote, let me know. I'll send you the details. But on the actual like the Google document, right? It's not physically written down there in the Google document. I wrote a lot for this session though. There's like I actually wrote 2 pages of notes for Idia for his report. But yeah, so anyway, so basically we also find out that like this old man sent Rin to go and basically see both Thane and Idia, like yeah, specifically Thane and Idia, and just to like meet them and see how they're doing. So it's like suspicious, you know. And then Storm approaches the codex. If I'm not wrong. Am I missing anything? Did I miss anything? Let me check my notes. Did I forget to write this down in my notes? Okay, I forgot to write this down in my notes. I wrote it in my Idia notes, but I didn't write it down in my actual notes. Did I not write it down? Did I like gloss over it? Hold on. Oh, I forgot. I just straight up forgot. Okay, I'm gonna write it down now. Okay. I guess it was at like 2:30 a.m. in the morning. I was like pretty sleepy. I'll write it down now. Storm overhears old man. I have it down here. Old man. To see how Idia and Thane is doing his little experiment. Idia. I don't know if I heard her say anything else though, because I can assume his little experiment refers to Idia. I don't know if he said anything for Thane. Something about like giving introducing the items. I know something about like giving them a chance to get the items. Hold on, where's my notes? On this little experiment. Okay. Check on this little experiment. Let's placing them into contact with the items bracket. That's all. Okay. Updated the thing. So let me check. So this was under market time. Oh, I don't have enough room for this. Okay, let me split this then. I need to repaste the stuff in the documents. This is the wrong account. And then the last one. Petra. Alright, there you go. Okay, it's updated in the GDoc. Alright. Yeah, so then basically after Storm steals the book, right, and returns back to Thane. So Thane now gets Vane's codex, and we also have Vane's mantle and the special syringe. So the mantle, the thing is, the mantle isn't gonna do much for Idia. The thing is that, like, I feel like Idia wouldn't want to let go of the mantle. You know, okay. Like, okay, hear me out. It's very much like, you know, when a child, it's basically when the kid finds their parents' jacket in like, and like this old jacket that is like, very either oversized or like, and like definitely not the colors that they like, but it's very much like, I don't, okay, Mayumi Chunta, thank you for follow. But it's very much like the kid finds their parents' jacket. It doesn't fit them, it doesn't do anything for them, but they would never give it away to somebody else. They would want to hold it. Even if somebody else could wear it, he doesn't want it to, because it's related to somebody he really knows, and yeah. Yes, yeah, so it's like that feeling of like, I don't see Idia really needing the item. It's good for like the rest of the stuff, but I feel like obviously this mantle works way better if we give it to like, I don't know, like Bruno, Tarnath, Storm, like mainly Bruno I was thinking, because like Bruno usually is the front, right? But I can't see Idia trusting anyone else with the mantle. Like, if the mantle, I don't see him trusting anyone else with the mantle, so it's very much like, he lost so much shit. Yeah, Idia has lost so much shit that it's like, I can't see him trusting anyone else with the mantle. Bad for him. Remember when I said 7,000 years of bad luck? Yeah. Hi Ayumi, welcome in. We're just talking about my DnD OC right now, because we just had finished playing a DnD session last night with him. But yeah, like, I can't see Idia giving anyone else the item. I think he would care too much to let it go, and like, number one, he will also not even say that it belongs to Vane. He will not even say like why he recognizes the item. He'll just say, okay, I want this item. It's very much like it's very much to him like, this is the final fucking trace I have of Vane. I can't let it go. With Sophia. Thank you. I'm very honored. A lot of people, I know a lot of people say they like my voice. I can't barely listen to it too much though. Every time I listen to it, I'm like, oh man, why is it so high pitched? But also at the same time, man, why is it so low pitched? I don't know. My voice is a very weird middle range. Enjoy your lurk, Rin. Is Rin crashing out? Maybe Rin's crashing out. Airport time. Oh shit. Okay. I will see you later for brain run. No worries. I'm gonna pour some more water for myself. But yeah, I'll DM you, Rin. I can DM you more about the character. For those who don't know, Rin is the one who drew this Idia here that you see on the right now. That's why, yeah. Being on the research later, I'm running. Oh my god, no, please chill. I will stream long enough for you to show up, okay? I promise. If I don't want to play the game anymore, I'll just start writing on the stream. I'll keep Rooster here for you, okay, Rin? I promise. I promise. Hash the first part. Okay. I don't know. Okay, that means I'll try. Let's go with your schedule. Okay, I'll try. Have fun if it travels. Safe travels, Rin. Take care. Make sure you bring your chargers, okay? Your chargers and bring your plugs for the wall because get those or forget them. All right, enjoy. Take care. But yes, so Idia, I don't think he will let go of the mantle just purely by sentimental value. Do you hear the song Overdose by Notori? Yes, I have. I do know Overdose by Notori. I've karaoke'd the song before. Yes. Overdose kimi to nai. That song. I love Notori's music. I really like Theater and Fool's. I love Fool's Table by Notori. Wait, that might be an Idia song. Wait, let me find the lyrics right now. Fool's Table, Notori. I love that song a lot. It's one of my favorite songs by Notori. So good. I do really like Notori's music. I don't know if it fits. Let's see. I don't think it fits him very well. Okay, never mind. I'll think about it a bit more, but I don't think it fits him very well. Not for Idia. Not for Idia. But yeah, so basically, right, yeah, a part of me out of character is like, oh yeah, this mantle will be very useful for somebody who struggles with saves against like wisdom stuff. Like, I can imagine Storm or Bruno struggling with it the most. Tarnaf is, he's a man of faith. He's not gonna do shit. What's your favorite food? Mentaiko onigiri, specifically from this one shop in Sapporo. I'm very like okay, that's my favorite food in the whole wide world. That specific onigiri from that specific shop in Sapporo, that specific branch in the subway in Port Town. I love that Mentaiko onigiri so much. Otherwise, I like a lot of other foods as well. On the top of my head, I do enjoy crispy fish skin, which is why I like a little bit. I do not know. My streams are 15 plus, so keep things 15 plus. I will delete your comment. But yes, so anyway, don't bring that up again, it's against the rules. But yes, so anyway, back to Idia. Yeah, I don't think he can pass. I don't think he would want to pass the mantle to anyone else. Alright, no worries. But yeah, he would not pass the mantle to anyone else, I don't think. Even though it would look better for Storm and Bruno, so I'll think about it. I'll think about it and see if in character somebody can convince Idia to hand it over. Because otherwise, at the current moment, I can't see Idia handing over Vane's mantle to anyone else. He's too attached to it. It's like kid's favorite blanket from the parents. That's basically how I see it. Draping himself in his parents' jacket, essentially. Yeah, so then we cut to Tarnaf. So Tarnaf has been buying something as well before. Before the whole thing with Thane and Storm stealing the the items. And essentially, right? So Tarnaft, this is not a funny thing because we have another so we have Rin NPC, right? A reference to Rin, a cameo to Rin, but then now we also have a cameo to Miyoto, right? Where it's like, okay, Miyoto is the scavenger who's like found the sacred flame stuff, all the things for Sacred Flame, like scavenging all the dead Sacred Flame stuff. Have I gone to Japan? I have gone to Japan before, yes. So then anyway, bring our child more later. We can brain rot more later. Yeah, how is it? I do like Japan a lot. I go every so often because I go to visit my friends in Japan. It's good if you know what you're looking for, particularly. So, anyway. Japan is good if you know what you're looking for, friends. Not really. Okay, anyway, so okay, what was I talking about? Tarnath, yes, so Tarnath. I'm gonna pull up the notes for Tarnath now. Give me a sec, I'm gonna pull up the notes for Tarnath. So, notes for Tarnath, it says that Tarnath finds Miyoto selling all Sacred Flame items scavenged from the dead or ruins. So the whole spread, Tarnath buys everything for 5 GP. I don't remember exactly what was, I don't exactly remember what's there. But I remember there are like a lot of dog tags. Namely, there's a wood-carved figurine of Kalia with her face worn away by water. There's an old Sacred Flame badge, and then a book/scroll. I'm not sure what the book or scroll is. I don't think Zale remembers either. Rain, if you're here, if you're here, can you like tell us about the book or the scroll? I don't remember what this is. Oh, I'm not streaming tomorrow. Today is actually the only day I'm streaming this week. This week has been very, very busy. So yeah. Let me see. If you want to check out my socials, they're here. You can. My schedule is posted on my Blue Sky and Twitter. Okay. Oh, okay. Wait. Okay, we got for rain. A collection of rites for binding corruption through symbolic acts, burning immersion, isolation. A ritual book of ash binding, non-magical. Okay. I'm throwing this shit into the. Hold on. I'm throwing this shit into the items category. Before I forget. Non-magical. Okay. It's in the settings now. All right. There you go. So. Miyoto. No, this is the book you got from Miyoto, Zale. This one is the book you got from Miyoto, the ritual book of ash binding. Yeah, this is yours. This is yours. This is yours. This is yours. That's what I asked for. Yeah, it's yours. Oh. Happy priest noises. Yeah. Oh, Rin NPC. Oh. Sad as well. Love that. I love that for an NPC actually. like reading books. I did used to read a lot of books. Yes. I mostly read fantasy books. I read a lot of fantasy books, but nowadays I read more like non-fiction books. I have a lot of I read more like dabbling a little bit into some history, culture stuff, and also dabbling a lot more into like the non-fictional stuff that like kind of like pokes at your mind, like The Art to Not Giving a Fuck. I like that book a lot actually. There's another book called Wisdom. I read that one as well. I like these kind of non-fiction books. I haven't read them in a little bit though. The latest book I'm working on right now is this book that is about like all of these lawyers, like previous cases that he's gone through, the ones that are very notable that he wanted to note down. So there's like basically like talking about all his like previous like cases from this lawyer. All right, see you. Take care. Take care. Take care. Thank you for the follow once again. Let me see. I know one of these books is called The Art of Not Giving a Fuck. Or is it like How to Not Give a Fuck? I can't remember. It's like The Art of Not Giving a Fuck. The first book, the first one. There's a sequel to it. I haven't read the sequel yet. I read the first one. And then the second one is literally just a book called Wisdom. There is an owl on the face of the cover. I'm gonna be very honest. I picked up the book because I saw the owl. And I was like, ooh, what's this book? And that book was what made me go from like fiction reading straight into non-fiction reading. Really funny. Then I have this other book. I can't remember the title of it. The one I said that was history related. I was reading about like samurais. Samurais in like samurais back then. A very brief summary, not like a very in-depth one of samurais. I didn't finish that book either, but I like the cover. It's very pretty. And the one I'm reading right now, kind of on and off. Where did I put it? Oh, it got bent. Okay, I found the book, but it was stuck in a cupboard. Okay, it's called Under the Wig. Oh no, the cover bent. I need to find it. Like, I need to get back into reading. I know, all of us do really. I might just relax and read a book today, honestly. I prefer reading physical things and reading things digitally because there's something about a physical book that just makes things so different, you know? And yeah. So I really that book is the one I'm working on right now. Under the Wig, it's called. And so far, I read about the first case. I think I read about the 2 cases so far from that book, and they're pretty mortifying. This book is mainly about the more mortifying cases, stuff that is like very much like the shit you wish you didn't see as a lawyer. So I'm like, ooh. Yeah. Besides non-fiction books, when I was younger, I used to read a lot of fantasy stuff, you know, like Aragon, dragons, more dragons, Eric Blyton for the more like European fairy stories. I used to read a lot of Geronimo Stilton. I really enjoyed Geronimo Stilton. And then other than that, I read Pokemon. I read the Pokemon manga, and I also read the physical Pokédex itself. I was the only kid at like, what, 6-7 years old that knew how to spell the word paralyzed because I read it so much in Pokemon as a status effect. I was the only kid that knew how to spell paralyzed. Because I read Pokemon books. I consider that a win. Yeah. So... entire Pokédex in respect. Yeah, like not... I read the Pokédex for Sinnoh, and I read the Pokédex for Unova. And After Unova, it was Kalos, the one from X and Y. I remember I read a book of venomous animals in Australia, and I was the only one who knew how to spell venomous. It was great. Yeah. I also used to read a lot of like books on animals as well. I had this book of like snakes. Not just venomous. It's so funny, Rain. Sorry. My snake obsession started when I was a kid. I still have this old book, by the way. I found it like I think like a year ago when I was like doing some spring cleaning. This book, there was just like 200 snakes in the world. And I'm like, oh my god, snakes! That's how I know. Okay, if you ask me what my favorite snake is in the world, I can tell you exactly what my favorite snake is in the entire world. And funnily enough, ever since I was a wee child, my favorite snake, obviously, was a sea snake. It was a snake that was in the ocean. The story writes itself, bro. Like I'm just a fucking anime character, bro. At this point, it's why CSI I could spell forensics. Yeah, see, media is good for children, guys. People will be like, oh, you shouldn't show your kids these things. I'm like, oh, Pokemon's so childish, and I'm like, I spell paralysis at 7 years old. Fight me. I know paralyze is spelled with like a Z or an S depending on the British or American system. I know the difference, you know. But anyway, yeah. If you guys want to know what my favorite animal is in the whole world, is the my favorite animal in general is the pelagic sea snake, the yellow-bellied pelagic sea snake. Yellow-bellied sea snake. Look at it, isn't it cute? It's adorable. I think it's very cute. Anyway, these things are highly venomous. If you get bitten by one, you're probably gonna die. But they're just so cute. I like them. I like them a lot. I really like this is my favorite animal. My favorite fish is the lancet fish. Animal, sea snake. Putting snakes in the sea, so there's never gonna be a snake-free zone. Exactly. Snakes are everywhere. They're so cute. They're so cute. They're just smiling little guys. Have you seen the sea snake? Look at his face. It's so cute. It's so silly. Anyway, so the fun fact about yellow-bellied sea snake is what it does is that it's very smart, because the yellow belly from the bottom, when you look up, right? Fishes think it's like, oh, it's a sun, so you don't see the snake. But if you look at it from the above, right? You see, oh, it's the ocean color. I don't see it. And basically, it just lays there still. It even potentially like lies down upside down to trick predators into thinking that it's like, what is this yellow thing? And then it bites you. It bites you and it kills you. So it's an ambush predator in a sense where it like baits you to it stays so still until you come close to it and it just bites you and you die. And I love it. I love the little guy. So silly. Little guy. Big face. Like cute. Very cute. But anyway, sorry, I'm getting tangented by my favorite animal here. So back to the market. Because I need to also like quickly end stream soon so I can eat and then come back so I can stream for a rooster for Rin. Tarnav finds all these items, right? And then Tarnav warns Miyoto, perhaps you shouldn't want to set up shop selling all the dead items of the Sacred Flame in front of the Sacred Flame. It was like, I remember panning my camera over a little bit up and I see the chapel right in front of where Tarnav is standing, and it's so fucking funny. I was like, good point there, buddy, actually. What are you doing? And then Tarnav tells me, if you really need food and money, if you really need like food and water, you can just like return these to Sacred Flame and they would be happy to just give you the water and the food, you know. Anyway, so then it's around this time after Tarnav, and after Tarnav happens before the stealing thing happens, then the stealing thing happens, and then finally we all meet up and we go to find Petra at the Hooded Lantern's outpost. And there we're just like, we have to decide on over there we find Alric, River, and Henna as well with Petra. And then we get to decide which mission we want to go on. And we basically end there because we have until tomorrow in the game to decide which mission to go on. And ultimatum, we can only choose one, essentially. So, to recap, the Chapel of St. Brenna is east, decrepit, ruined, deserted chapel. As a healer, performing miracles beyond the sacred flame, risk of more people falling to their heretics. Investigate and stop the heretics or deserters, and for Idia specifically, is to return with the asset, which is the healer. For Reek Manor, it's in the west, still in good condition and untouched. Delirium Haze isn't there. It used to be there before, but now it's not there anymore after the owners lost contact with the owners. Last message is a cryptic letter. We are ready to receive our reflection. Investigate to determine what happened and what changed. Other third parties have gone into scavenge, never came out according to scouts. So that is where our session ended. Yippee! Not for both. Yeah, I was gonna say, out of character, I really want to go to Reed Manor because I want to know what exactly Idia isn't supposed to know. Right? Yeah. I kind of broke this down earlier. You missed it, but basically I was saying that, like, in terms of weight, Harnaft and Bruno's storyline would definitely want to go for the chapel. Right? So the thing is that Idia and Thane already have had a lot of their moments in general, right? But I feel like if we go to the chapel, Tarnaft and Bruno will get to experience more of their characters, because dealing with the Sacred Flame stuff and dealing with the deserters is one thing. I was also talking about earlier as to how, like, due to just Idia's personality in general, it's really funny how it's like, in a way, Idia has kind of like accidentally taken over. Like he's kind of become like the pseudo leader of the party, even though we have all agreed out of character that we wanted Tarnav to be the leader. And it's not that, like, I don't think Idia is trying to be leader. I just think that Idia is so used to operating solo that he just is able to make decisions for himself on the fly. And because he just makes his own decision, and he just basically he's doing his own fucking thing, right? He's just doing his own thing. And people, like, you know, it's just like because he's already doing something, right? They just follow him. So in a way, impromptuly, like, Idia is kind of like in a way he's like leading the party. But also I was thinking about, like, okay, if we go to the Chapel of St. Brenna, I feel like Tarnath would be able to showcase more of his actual, like, leadership side, because Idia would not have that much weight in this mission as compared to Reed Manor. And also, I'm also down for, like, the chapel because, like, you know, Idia has something to take back, which is the asset. However, Ulrich told Idia that his suggestion was to go for Reed Manor, and Idia is like, okay, if you say so, I'm good for Reed Manor. He doesn't have to think anymore. He's just like, okay, if my handler wants me to, I'll go for Reed Manor. He's so simple-minded. Like, he's like, okay, sure. And also because in character and out of character, right? There's no delirium around the house. And personally, out of character, I was like, this feels very much like story progression. Because House Vontier, if you remember the letter from session 3, the one about, like, you're invited to this grand gala and it was like somewhat like listed in the future, right? Like, House Vontier's symbols are all black lilies. They're all black lilies. So, like, this black lily appearing in our hand is like, what the fuck are you doing here? Right? And we know that these black lilies also spawn this weird space of echoes and dreams as long as we're near them. So it seems that, like, if we go to investigate the Reed Manor, we'll get to know more about the story things around these black lilies, around the manor's guests disappearing. Because, like, again, the letter of, like, we are ready to receive our reflection is very much like, you know, the invitation letter for, like, hey, do you want to come over? You know, like the one about the gala, and the fact that the gala, our dream was about the ballroom, right? I was like, it's all connected. So I feel like if we go to the manor, we get more story details and progression. But if we go to the Saint Chapel, I think we get a lot more character progression there. So I think it's a mix right now. Like, for me, I'm fine with either or. However, I will vote out of character as well for Reed Manor because I personally am very invested in trying to figure out Idia's like what he's not supposed to know, right? Like, you all can just ball dance. Oh, Shall I make a roll and see if Idia can ball dance? I feel like Idia wouldn't know how to ball dance. In fact, I feel like Idia wouldn't know how to fucking dance at all. I don't think he's known dancing. I don't think he's ever had a chance to dance. He does sing, but I don't think he dances. So I think like the thing is that naturally people who are more physically capable can dance because they have the muscles to do so, the control to do so. They just don't know how to. So I think like Idia will very much fumble, but he's strong enough to definitely be able to perform well if he actually does put his mind to learning it. But I don't think he knows how to at all. Like at all, I don't think he knows how to. But yeah, so I feel like the manner is very much like, ooh, story progression on the Black Lilies and all these things, weird things haunting our minds. But at the same time, we go to Saint Chapel is very much like, okay, we're progressing the character story there. So that's my 2 cents as to what might happen for both missions. And obviously, I want to read manner because Ulrich being genuinely concerned and worried for Idia, telling Idia not to look into the research, is making me out of character be like, oh, I want to know about the mission. I want to know about this. I want to know what Idia isn't supposed to know, and it's like, ooh, how much is it gonna destroy him? It's gonna be very interesting, for sure. But yeah, it's also because the thing is, we know that the Reed Manor is connected to the runic skeleton, where like the delirium haze is like not there, right? So it's very much like, ooh. So we basically, if we go there, right, our characters will not be at risk of further delirium contamination. There's not gonna be like delirium in the area, but if we go to the chapel, there's gonna be delirium in the area. So both are very interesting. I would like to see what everyone thinks about it. I know that Tarnef and Bruno would definitely want to go to the chapel. Storm is also leaning to chapel because that's what Nail told him to do. And only Thane and Idia want to go to the Reed Manor, I think, in my mind. But yeah, we'll think about it out of character next session. But yeah, Bruno's a wild card. A bit wild card right now because he's tipsy. But I feel like the second you say heretics, defectors, I think Bruno's gonna be like, oh, my eyes are open, and he's gonna go straight for the chapel. I can tell Petra was trying to lean Bruno to go towards the chapel because like that's where all the defectors are there. Magic free. Yeah, the thing is like magic free. Yeah, the manor is magic free. Yeah. So it's very much like we'll see what Bruno says. We already know that Storm and Tarnef are for chapel, and we know that Idia and Thane are for manor. And I have a feeling that whichever we don't go to, Abyssal Hunter number 5 is gonna go there. But yeah. That's the gist, folks. Go there since one of my friends might be there. Yeah, cause it makes sense. Like that's the same for Idia as well. Like Idia is going to Reed Manor because his handler is like, my suggestion is go to Reed Manor. So fun! We get choices. We get to decide. But yeah, recap being as long as the session. Is it actually? How long have I been streaming? Is it actually? 3 hours? Oh no, okay, the session was 5 hours. The recap is 3 hours per hour. Also, I would be so down to do more like, I like the length of the session, but I definitely do feel like we definitely need more breaks in between. And the break should be a little bit longer. I think that's the main things for like upcoming session. If we're going to go for that long as well, I think we need like more breaks, so 2 breaks, and make the breaks not just 5 minutes, but maybe a bit like longer, like maybe 10 minutes, so that we can like 10 minutes, 15 minutes, so that we kind of like snack a little bit. Personally, for me, I feel like 10 minutes is a sweet spot because I'm not 10 10 to 15 minutes is my sweet spot because I'm not too distracted, I'm not too out of the zone yet, but I'm at least able to like rest a little bit, rest my brain. Anything longer than like 15 minutes, we will lose steam. So I would say like 10 minutes is my sweet spot for like break time. And prepare snacks. Yes. So we can also get some snacks for like those 10 minutes. And for those who haven't had dinner, they can like at least get something during the 10 minutes. Because I know that like Bobby usually doesn't eat dinner that early, I think. We need to like, I'm gonna ping more and hopefully we can get more people to eat their dinner before the session so people are like energized for the session. But at least like having snacks in between will also energize people. So that'll be fun. Yeah, so regardless, yeah. I think that's a nice session recap. Did I miss anything, Rain? I think I covered everything. Is there anything you wanna discuss with me for like your NPCs that we like listed down? But if not, I think I'll end stream here and quickly go for my lunch break. And then I'll come back for Rooster. But done, Pat. Alright. Nice. My brain rot is insatiable. It's an entertaining recap. I'm glad. Okay. Every time. Come back here. Recap. Okay, in that case, let's see who we can. I have to rewatch the Nat 20 sequence. You have to. I caught it live on fucking camera, dude. It was insane, actually. Fucking insane. Let's see who we can read. Oh, there's so many friends online today. Great. I think I rated this person recently, so I think it's fine. I'm not gonna rate them again. Who have I not rated in a while? I think this guy's gonna end soon. Bill? Oh! Yes! Yeah, sorry. My mouse is Bill Cipher. If you see him flying around, that's my mouse cursor. Can you see him? Let's see. We rated them recently. This friend of mine hasn't streamed in a while, so let's go rate them instead, actually. I know one of my other friends is doing Monster Hunter Wilds right now, but I haven't rated this friend in a long minute. Let's go rate them. Lith. Thank you everyone for coming to today's stream. Again, if you want to check me out and keep up to date with what I'm doing, check out my socials. I will be back in about 30 minutes. I'll be back in about 30 minutes to play another game. I'll start my stream again. But for now, I'm gonna throw all of you guys at Lith, my good friend Lith. If you guys don't know who Lith is somebody who does really, really pretty art. They've done my countdown art for me, if you guys remember my countdown art, and a bunch of other stuff for me. You recognize the art style, very pretty. Anyway, so thank you again for coming, and I will see all of y'all later in 30 minutes after my lunch. Okay, bye everyone. I'm gonna go eat. You're crazy, Beardo. Thank you.